Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Can everybody take a seat, please? We're about to get ready and go. Many people coming in as presentation goes on. Anyways, I want to thank you all for coming out today. It's an action-packed day. We have a lot of speakers. Danny Wood is here. Reggie Fitchett is here as well. And Carlos and Nat will be doing a thing on ChatGPT. All right. So I want to start it off with inviting BMO up here to say a few words. They provided the breakfast this morning, so I want everybody to thank them. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. So thank you for having us. We are going to be a proud preferred vendors here. So my name is Steve Grishmurthy. I'm the Durham Market Regional Vice President for the Mortgage Specialist. So I cover all of Durham Market, and you all know Bibi. You don't need introductions. She's your representative for the mortgage specialist side for vendor Williams. So I just want to take a couple of opportunities to say we're here to support you guys in terms of Bankers Day, Realtor Days, and any of the BMO branches across GTA or Durham area. So take advantage of Bibi, and if she doesn't have capacity, she'll work with another mortgage specialist on my team. I do have 23 mortgage specialists on my team, so if you're looking for a specific day and can't fit into Bibi's schedule, we'll find another rep as well. But Bibi will definitely organize a Bankers Day or a Realtor Day in one of our BMO branches to showcase your brand and your visibility, or if you have any listings in the area, we can help you with that as well. Open houses is another thing. So if you have an open houses and you want some representation for questions, etc., she'll be able to come out as well. Next week on June 12th, we do have an event in North York, a Tridal event. Tridal is a market update event happening in North York. It's focused on the builder side and also a market outlook. I will share the invite and also the details with Dawn, and she will cascade it with you guys. I would love some of you to be there because there's jam-packed information that you can benefit from as well. So I'm going to pass it over to Bibi to share some information.
Good morning, everybody. It has been my pleasure working with you guys for a vendor for the past 2.5 years. So I want to say thank you for that. I also wanted to say, with Bank of Montreal, we provide so much for you guys, and I feel like some of you tap into the services that we provide, but some of you don't. And for those that don't, we want to let you know that we are here and we're here for you, open for business, and we're here to be an aid to you. So we're not saying that you have to use us solely, but what we're saying is that we're an opportunity for you to get into the community, to meet your community, people who are walking in through Bank of Montreal. We open the doors as for Realtor Days. You're welcome to join us, whatever days that you so prefer. And with those Realtor Days, we usually, specify on specific days like the 1st of the month, the 15th, 30th. And as Steve was saying, I'm not always able to do it because of my capacity, but there are 25 other specialists that are on our team that are more than willing to assist. And that is throughout Durham region. And then if you wanted to specifically target a specific area, so say you have a listing in Scarborough and you wanted to have an open house, or we call it a Realtor Day, that's close to the branch that's there. You're welcome to bring your open house signs and then provide and open the doors for a Realtor Day at that local branch for that day. We also want to say that we have programs for every community. The defense community, that's something that I'm very close to, and I do a lot with the defense community on Trent. But if you guys want to tap into some of that business, I'm open to bringing you guys onto the base when I go there, and you can, if you're interested, and have some connections there. So just thank you for that. And If you ever have other questions, you can reach out to me anytime.
Just a couple more stuff. So when we talked about inviting you into our branches, not only doing realtor days, we can actually work with the branches to see during that week if there was a PAM created, there was a PAM application or not, and we can talk to the branch manager to see if that client has a realtor in mind in play already and get that client introduced to you guys as well. And
Let me know what the acronym for PREP.
PAC, they all know what PAC is, pre-approved mortgages, I'm sure. And then FHSA, right? So FHSA was launched a couple of years ago. Those clients who have opened those type of registered investment products are now like in 2-year time frame, maybe looking into, getting the home buying journey started. So that's another opportunity as well. So if you do get connected to a branch through Vivi, we can work with the branch manager to see if any of the clients are ready at that stage, and we can introduce to you guys as well. In terms of some of the key programs that we have the highest rental offset program than compared to the other big 5 banks. We do rental offset at 90% in GTA. Outside GTA is 80%. So if clients have additional property or multiple property, we can tap into the income of 90% in GTA. Outside GTA, 80%. Most of the banks are doing 50-60%. So that's a niche for us. So, and then our TDS, our total debt servicing ratio, is at 49.9 on a conventional, right? Most of the banks are at 44 and 45. So when you want to refer a client over to BMO, you have not only the New to Canada program, existing Canadian personal buyers, Canadian Defense, the builder side. So there's a whole slew of programs that we have to fit your client's needs. All you have to do is reach out to Vivi. Does this client qualify? What programs can we put on? We also have a high net worth program for clients that are wealth accumulators or inheritance. We are the only bank that has the highest gifted down payment program as well. So there's a whole slew of programs that we have. And we do, as we mentioned, we are your preferred vendor. We do have a referral program. When you do refer a mortgage to BB and BMO, you get paid for that as well. So don't hesitate to not only about working with BB for your business development and lead generation, but in appreciation of that, if you would like a lead to BB, you get paid for that lead as well once it gets closed. All right. I wanted to cover again, say thank you for having this and sponsored it. We're looking forward to continue to partner up with the brokerage. It's amazing. We work with great realtors here, and thank you for your business. Those who referred. We want to continue to accelerate. We also have great potential in the Barrie office and Advantage office as well. So thank you. I know there are some of them are listening over there as well. So thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right, question for you guys, and I'm sure a lot of hands are going up in the room. Who here in the room uses Canva to help run their businesses? Awesome. So we have some pretty exciting news around Canva and the brokerage here. I'd like to bring up Carlos to talk about that.
Good morning, Energy. How are you doing? Advantage and Experience Online. Nice to see everybody here. All right, Canva. Who uses Canva? I do. Who uses a paid Canva subscription? More. Obviously, it's a unique tool. Now, they've rocked the industry. Before we used to use Adobe. For all you people that still use Adobe, I still say it has its own niche. But Canva is the easiest way to make presentations, and they have their own AI. That said, KW has made a strategic partnership. More news soon, but we want to show you a video that we just released a few days ago.
Keller Williams in Canva. We're bringing together the best in real estate and design. At Keller Williams, we believe real estate agents should work with best-in-class technology.
Cool tip. If, Canva AI was released a weeks ago, a month ago, time flies so fast. But, you can edit it by, uploading an image, removing a background, for example. It even has an expand feature. So let's say I upload my picture and I cut my, I accidentally did not include my shoulder. There's a feature there where you drag the image and it adds your shoulder automatically. So little edits like that.
Mike's just making this.
No. Ready?
Keller Williams in Canva. We're bringing together the best in real estate and design.
We can move to the slide, maybe.
Do the slide
Yeah,
instead?
we can just do the slide. Okay.
Let me share the slide.
The video is available. We'll just share it on the YouTube channels. All right. All right, so Keller Williams partners with, I forgot, our,
Canva?
corporate partner.
Stone Point?
Stone Point. And they also work, they own Canva, which makes this strategic partnership make sense. So there is no, don't, take the word for this, how the rollout will happen.
Turn it down just a little bit on the wall.
All right, so you can hear me if I go here?
Yeah.
All right. So currently we have a Canva Canada discount for those that you use it. We have that Canva discount. I think it's, I forgot the first page, but for those of you who attended that class, that is still available. This KW partnership will roll out at the end of the year. See the slides here. I haven't really reviewed this, I'm sorry. So like I said, it's a partner relationship with BlackRock. I'll just say this. Hold off to your subscriptions for now and wait at what level are we going to get free accounts, is this pro accounts, etc. I would say just use Canva now if you haven't been using it. It will likely be integrated with our KWEn system. My fearless forecast is that it's going to be fully integrated with the design system. So that means if you have like listing information, it flows automatically to Canva, and it makes your listing presentations, pictures for social media, and automatically posts from there. This will be a very high-level code integration, which means it's a seamless process of using an account and KWEn. Yeah, we'll share that video to you guys soon. Yeah.
Anything else? Nope.
Any questions? No? Yeah?
All right, and now we're going to kick off with our very first speaker today, who is Danny Wood. Danny is a public speaker for major conferences and global brands. His focus is on marketing and technology, from generating leads to lead follow-up and after sales systems for repeat referral business. He currently runs Brokerage Nation, a collection of 200 real estate offices and 8,000 plus agents who are enrolled in his online training programs, along With that, he has one-on-one coaching services, helping realtors implement the systems and services that he speaks on. We're excited to have him here today, and as I know many of you in the room know, he actually started his career with us here at Energy. So with that being said, I'd like to bring up Dan.
Hey guys, who remembers me before I had gray hair? Anybody in this room? Get out. Go. Yeah, I actually just posted. I'm doing updated headshots next week. So yeah, Danny Wood. I started in 2007 as a real estate agent, and at that time, none of my friends were buying homes, and none of my family trusted me. So I had to get like really inside the box thinking of how was I going to get buyers and sellers to work with me. 2007 leading into 2008 was an interesting time. To me, it was normal. To everybody else, it was panic mode. And so because I didn't know any different, I just kept moving forward. And yeah, business was fun. To me, what I love about real estate is the fact that we get to wear so many different hats. That's one of the joys of why we become a real estate agent, is you want to be self-employed. And you can do it with your own flavor. Like some of you are really good with door knocking, some are really good with open houses, some people just go all in on working with investors. There's like a million different ways that we can do things today. So I got 2 sessions I'm going to be doing with you. This first one is going to be, I don't think that's me. This first session is going to be on advanced database tactics. So when I was first starting, like it was really funny. It wasn't this company, it was another company. And they taught me how to do a listing presentation, and they actually cut a photo out of a piece of paper and glue sticked it to another piece of paper. And I'm like shocked that this is the training. And I'm like, let me show you what copy and paste looks like on a computer. Google Maps, people weren't using Google Maps, they were actually using the books. And I'm like, let me show you Google Maps. Look guys, we can actually put all of our listings in order, and it's gonna like, and it was jaw dropping. I'm like, holy smokes, this industry is like a dinosaur. So I just always had like an open book policy where I actually was in KWEn's Energy, which was cool. And what I loved about it was the collaboration. We all had an open door policy where you could just walk in and share with others of like what you're up to. Oh, look at this, look what I made. You want a copy? Oh, click it. And it was like that type of culture. So we didn't have this nice of an office. So, so you guys are doing pretty good now. All right, so this is ready. All right, so I'm gonna okay, so this is actually my first headshot that I ever took. This was glamour shots, but I did it in my kitchen. I wasn't even wearing pants, so nobody's gonna see it. So I just put on a jacket. And I had a Motorola Razr. I'm like, please call me. So that was my first profile picture. And so in 2007 I was using Top Producer at the time. And I did a mass email blast to everybody that I knew. And it was about this investing thing. I was setting up an investor tour. And that's not my sister, but that's what her face looked like. But she got the email and she made fun of me. She's like, why are you sending me this? And I'm like, I don't know. I sent it to everybody. So they gave me an aha moment of like, I shouldn't just spam people because I have the technology and the ability to do so. But I did learn from it, and I did get business. So even though I emailed a couple hundred people and my sister made fun of me, I did get other people responding back. And I'm like, wow, okay, so this does work. But instead of treating everybody like a mass blast, I gotta like create silos and just treat my sphere like my sphere, treat my past clients like my past clients. So what's awesome about any tool that you're using, so I'm gonna be talking about advanced CRMs right now and all the different tools, like ways that you can use a CRM in today's modern world. So the first one is the merge field. That's one of the huge bonuses of working with any database is the merge field. So I could do a mass email and it would send out like this. So here's an example of a mass email, and the yellow is a merge field. So my name is a merge field, the city is a merge field, and the postal code is a merge field. So if I send that to 1,000 different people, it's going to be the exact same email, except it's going to say, hey, Danny, or hey, Laura, hey, Danny, whatever their name is. So it feels like it's personalized. And then I always like frame stuff like this. So I'd be like, hey, Danny, the auction by best prices have gone up in the area. I pulled a report specific for your LMG 35 area postal code. You want a copy or know somebody who might be interested? And because it's merging in their postal code, it's merging in the city that they're in, and it's merging in their name, we get a higher response rate because it feels like I'm actually emailing them. And I don't actually even give them the report. I just give them the idea of the report. Hey, do you want a copy? And if not, you who? I always ask for that referral because 90% of the people that you talk to about anything, it's usually a no. So I always go for the referral instead of trying to get the business because I'll get more referrals if I go for them. If I just go for the business, it comes across as like, you need a bad copy for it. It's like slimy and you're like always like pushing for the sale. I didn't like that. So where this is 3 primary uses of merge fields. Mass emailing is like the no-brainer. That's what most people are used to. But you can also do it for direct mail. You can do mass labels. There's a technology called it's variable data printing. That's the nerdiest thing I'm going to say all day. Variable data printing. And so I can write up a letter, and it could be actually a real physical piece of paper that's printed. And companies that do this is UPS does it. So they have a print shop. And just ask whoever your printer is, do you do variable data printing? And if they do, then you can write up a letter and also give an Excel sheet of your database. And it will print 1,000 different letters addressed to 1,000 different people. And because we're doing a mass letter, we can put like their mailing address right on the letter. That way we don't have to match up labels after the fact. Because sometimes you gotta like match the letter with the label and stick the 2 together. And that's like a full-time job. Grab a box of pizza and coffee because you're gonna be here all afternoon. Or I can just send the file to UPS and get print. And it's basically the same as doing a mass email, except for it's direct mail. And the one that gets the most response is mass text. So if your CRM or tool allows you to do mass texting, that one gets the highest rate of reply of anything that we do. I'm sure even for you, you've noticed if you call people, they don't answer, but if you text them, you get a reply. Well, if you do mass texting, you're going to get a lot of replies. One of my coaching clients, he's out in the Barrie area, and when you guys had power go out for a little while, like a month, 2 months ago, or a month ago, there was a lot of power out, I think. Maybe not here in Ottawa, but like in the outskirts. Anyways, so I get a mass text with him. I showed him, oh, get me a list of all of your sphere of influence. He had 70 people. So we did a mass text, and his mass text was saying, hey, just checking in on how you're doing with the power. Our power went out, but we're up and running now, and I'm in the area. We just need a hand. How's it going? We sent that out. He had 60 replies before the end of the day. He was overwhelmed. He's like, I didn't even know this many people would respond to that. And the message from him to them wasn't like a sales message. It was just an outreach, thinking of you, type of thing. The idea of working a database is it's fine to have everybody in one database, but you want to create silos because you can't, like my sister, when I did the mass email about the investor thing, she laughed at me. Then I realized, oh, in my database, I need to identify just the investors. I need to identify just the realtors. I need to identify the people I'm attracting or recruiting if you're getting into that. I need to identify all my leads. So I have one big dirty database. And there's some people that like you start working with them and you realize, oh, they're kind of crazy. And so I don't delete people out of my database. I mark them as delete. And I turn on do not disturb so they don't accidentally get an email or a text or anything from me ever again. But I got to know why or they could do. And if I just delete them, then they're gone. And there's a chance I maybe get them in the future. So you want to have your database, but create different silos and pockets. If you only have time or capacity for a couple, it's these ones: your sphere, your past clients, and anybody who's interested. So I don't know what tool you guys use, but it's usually called a tag or a list. And so I would list anybody who's interested is a person that's either buying a home or selling a home. They're probably going to be moving, and they're responsive. They actually talk to me. They answer my texts. They answer my emails. So anybody who's in that category, I just put the interested tag on. That way, every month or every other month, I'll just pull that list. I'll go to the top and bottom and reconnect with these people. people complicate things and they're like my hot wires, my cold wires, my A's, B's, C's, and D's, and that's fine if you run with that. But for most people, they don't maintain it, and then your database is completely out of whack at the end of the year. Like nobody's actually on the right plan. So they can't be on the wrong plan if you just have them as labeled as interested. This way, you'll never drop leads in the crack again. You're just identifying all the people in your database that are possibly moving, whether they're buying or selling or investing, it doesn't matter. I use that tag, interest. Past clients, obviously you want to be able to pull off all your past clients. And then your sphere is friends, family, people that like, if you call them, they know who you are and they would answer the phone. So maybe my database is 800 people or 8,000 people, it doesn't matter the number. I always have a much smaller one that if I had a barbecue event or a client appreciation event, who are the people that are qualified for that? And it's the people that would actually like respond to me and that I care for. You can have other tags in your database. Like at the time I worked with investors and a lot of agents were laughing at me. They're like, why would you work with investors? They have no loyalty. I'm like, I got a chance. I have no loyalty to the other agents either. So like I have the same point. Agents, I would identify the agents if I was working them, all my open house leads, all my Facebook leads, like identify all your lead sources if you can, if you have like an ongoing one. But really the only ones that you need are these three. And you can run your whole business just identifying these three lists in your database. So any database you're using, it doesn't matter. They all have like a notes field. And so my tactic is this, I only ever make one note and I keep pushing it forward. Or you could use it as a to-do. So whatever tool you're using, you know how you have like your contact, it's got the name, phone number, email, and then you can add a note. Okay, I add a note and I keep pushing the date forward. So say I met somebody at an open house this week. I would add them to my CRM, I would add the note, I met them at 123 Street, blah, 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 and whatever their feedback was about the property. So that would be my first note. And then using my own brain and instinct, I'd be like, when should I contact these people next? Should it be in 2 days, in 2 weeks, or 2 months? So I want to make like a reminder in the CRM for me to contact that person. Well, when that reminder comes up, one of two things are going to happen. I'm going to call them and they're not going to answer, which is normal. So then I would like have hang up, send them a text, send them an email, and I just change the date and I keep pushing it forward. I never mark it off as done. If you have a CRM and it has the ability to have a to-do or a task, all you need is one active to-do or task for each client, and you just keep pushing the date forward. You'll never drop another lead in the crack. And the problem with CRMs is like, it's great that we can automate things, but your people aren't a one-size-fits-all. So it's not like all buyers can be on the same buyer touch program, because some are ready to go this week and some are just thinking they might not even ever go ever, right? So it's like, how do you put them on a proper follow-up plan? Well, by doing this, it's at least you're using your own gut instinct of how aggressive should you be with this person. Should you question them like in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks? Then when that time comes, you don't mark it off as done. You just change the date, keep pushing the date forward, and you'll never lose another lead again. If your tool has this ability, our emails do. So if you're using Gmail, you can do this, and you can schedule replies. So this is great for, but as soon as I'm on the phone with the person, so now I'm in coaching. So when I'm on the phone with the person, you're like, yeah, I want you to help me out, but I'm on vacation, I'm back in 2 weeks. As soon as we hang up the phone, I'll type up an email or a text and I'll schedule it to go to them when they get back from vacation. And so say I'm talking to a person and they're like, yeah, I'm on vacation. So I'm going to send an email and say, hey, how was the trip? Did you bring me back any sun? You probably had a blast. Are you home now and settled? Or you need a vacation after my vacation? Smiley face. And this is just a gentle reminder of the last thing that we talked about. And I'm reminding them of what we talked about, but I'm also reminding myself. But I don't need to schedule me to do this in 2 weeks. As soon as we hang up the phone, I can just type it up and then hit send later. And you can do that with Gmail. How many of you use Gmail as your email? Yeah, you can schedule your emails to go out at a later date. So just send them an email, and you'd be surprised how many times I wake up and I have somebody responding to an automated message that I totally forgot about.
That's why I counted myself on that schedule, but I get it to go get fast.
Yeah, good. Yeah, very good. Okay, landing pages. you need to be able to have the ability to make landing pages. Why is that blurry? Or no, not blurry. Okay, so there is an example of landing page. Actually, I don't know why I'm using this as an example because it looks like a haunted house. But anyways, that's what AI gave me. So this is an open house registration. And so when we were at open houses before, I used to have a clipboard and people would have to sign in with their name, phone number, and email on a piece of paper. Well, guess what? Now I've got a new job. After the open house, I have to take all these pieces of paper and manually add them to my database. Well, what's the last thing you want to do? More work, because you got to go gather all your signs, you got to go home, cook dinner, do all this other stuff. So of course, the last thing you do is add these people to the database. Well, we started creating landing pages for our open houses. That way, when a person's at it, they scan the QR code, then they self-admin themselves. They register, are they working with the realtor, yes or no, with their name, their phone number, their email. So a lot of your CRMs have the ability to make landing pages on their what your home is worth. You can make a landing page for anything. If you have any call to action, maybe you've got a free ebook or a DD guide, that sort of thing. You can make landing pages for that. I would make landing pages for investing. I would make landing pages for bungalows. I would make landing pages for open houses. I would make landing pages for everything. And most people aren't going to just find it organically, like just because you build it doesn't mean you're going to get leads from it. But if you're, hold on. I hear the noise in the background. I don't know if it's going to echo anymore. So, is there any echo from me talking? No? No? Okay, cool. So yeah, actually there is echo. Landing pages, so you ever go on a fishing boat and at the back of the boat, they got 10 different rods and they got 10 different pieces of bait. The reason is you don't just have one website for one landing page. You need like 20 of them, you need 30 of them. Like you make them and the more you have, the more chance you're going to get somebody's going to fill it in. But if all you've got is just one simple website with a contact page, a house value page, and a map search page, that's like the same as every other person in this room, right? So what if I had a landing page for people that are military relocation? What if I had a landing page for these unique niches that none of the other agents would have? Well, now I've got a chance that my page is going to work because I'm the only one that's got that out in the water. So these are the types of landing pages you want to do. Like if you did a home show booth, I would have a landing page for the home show if you got free tickets or something at the home show. If you got a client appreciation event coming up, like a pumpkin day, strawberry day, that sort of thing, I would make a landing page, and that's when we do an email out to everybody because I want to RSVP how many people are coming to the movies or whatever. If you're doing pre-construction, I would make landing pages for that. Any of your resources, you have a buyer guide, you have a seller guide, you have a checklist, you have things that you hand out to people on a common. Well, I know so many agents that, well, where is their buyer guide, seller guide, and checklist? And it's just like on a Google Drive, where they email the client that way, like PDF. No, get it online, get it public, and so everybody can see it. And I have a landing page so that they can register for that. Your calendars, like to book a consultation with you as a real estate agent, those could be landing pages. I use those all the time for me as a coach. So anyways, landing page is just a dedicated page for one topic, and I would be making as many of them as possible because it's like spray and pray. And if you've only got one bullet, you got a very small chance. But if you got a shotgun, you got a better chance of hitting something. So this is an example of a landing page that I personally like to use. It has like calendars so that people can book whatever works. But look over on the left, it's got all my social media, it's got all my free resources, it's got all the call to actions. And I use this as like my universal, if I had one page to send anybody and on my business cards, if there was a QR code that went to something, it wouldn't even be my home page. It would be this page. I take people like, if you, whatever, if I ever send you an email or something and I'm linking, I can guarantee you it's probably going to be going through this page or a landing page of a specific product, but never my home page, never my website. Why don't I send people to my website? Because it's like, if I ask you, well, where's the seller page on your website? You know how many agents are like, oh, I don't know, and they're like looking around. Well, your consumer doesn't know either, right? And it's like a big rabbit hole. So this is like a cleaner menu. I kind of took the idea of Linktree. A lot of people are using Linktree, but I put it on my own website. So it's my URL, it's my domain. It doesn't cost you any extra. It's free normally. If you go on the website, you can add a page. And this is the structure that I find about all my social media resources, call to action, and calendar, and universal. So speaking of calendars, your CRMs can usually have your calendar baked right into it, whether sometimes you have to use a third-party plugin like Calendly or Schedule Once. But what I like about it is, so say somebody wants to book a call with me, it doesn't show them that I'm here speaking with you guys right now. It just shows that today I'm not available. But they can see all my other times that are available. And if you're not a busy person, you can actually randomize it so it looks like you're busy if you want to look like you are. Landing pages are good for creating evergreen recordings. So here's an example of, I did a webinar on Canva and using it as a video editor. So that you can actually edit your videos using Canva. So this is an example of a landing page that I created. And so now that landing page is out there and public, and anybody who registers for that, they just get recorded. So I don't even have to do these webinars anymore because I already did it once. Once you do the seminar or whatever, your home buyer seminar, home seller seminar, record it, turn it into an evergreen. So here's an example idea I'm giving you. Interview all of your vendors. Do a little pop. You guys see that little video room at the back here in the space? How many have not used it yet? Why? It's like this. That would be
Literally just finished it.
Oh, okay. Fine. Okay. I'll ask that question in 2 months. It's going to be the same. So, anyways, use that video room because you've got it. And so, what types of videos do you want to make? Well, I would start with any page on your website that has a form. Your buyer page, your seller page, and your contact page. I would make a video explaining, hey, I'm Danny Wood. I serve the Durham region area. If you're thinking of selling your house today, fill in the form, and what you're going to get is a list of all the sales that have happened in your area so that you can determine the price and the value of your home. It's going to help you out with the information gathering. I'm a real guy. On the other end, I'll follow up. That would be my video. I would make another video for the buyer page. I would make another video for the contact me as a realtor page. And then I would make a video series interviewing my mortgage broker. And I would talk to the BMO people that were just here. And I would interview them in that back room all about mortgage rate goals. What happens if the rates go up? What happens if the rates go down? Is it held for 90 days or 120? What happens if you don't end up getting a mortgage after you have the mortgage rate goal? What happens if blah, blah, blah. So I would go through all those types of questions. And now that I have that recording, that's a resource. And I can reuse that resource for like a trip plan for all my buyer internet meetings and all the people I need at open houses now. I can be like, oh, you're thinking of moving. Have you got a mortgage rate goal? The answer is going to be no. I'm like, oh man, you got to go to this. And I have a page that takes them to this. And when a person registers, it just sends them the recording. So I don't even have to do a date and time and be live. I just got to get one recording and then repurpose it over and over. So I would interview all of your vendors, your mortgage broker. I would be interviewing your home inspector. I would be interviewing your lawyer, your stager, all the people that you use in this industry. Get a quick little 5, 7, 8 minute type of interview. You don't even need a podcast or anything like that. You just need these recordings. And then you can start making these landing pages and use it. Like I could run Facebook ads on this one, targeting buyers, and have them go to this page, and I would be getting buyer leads from it. Some CRMs allow you to customize the form, meaning like the name, the phone number, the email. So this is common where it's just address, the person's name, phone number, email, and address. But some tools allow you to customize it. So I took one of my girls, she wanted, before she goes on a listing presentation, she wanted to email them a seller intake form, she called it. And on that seller intake form, not only did it ask name, phone number, email, and address, but it also asked what's the age of the property, what's the square footage, what are the property taxes, what's the reason for selling, when do you want to be moved by, do you need to buy another home when you do sell, what's your spouse and partner's name, are you working with a realtor, like those types of questions. A lot of CRMs don't allow you to create custom custom questions. And I think it's really important that you can, because we are in such a niche industry and we're working with such private information that's sensitive. We need more than just name, phone number, and email. And this is an example of, so we set up for her, we set up a buyer intake and a seller intake. So when she starts working with buyers and sellers, she takes them to this. And then that way, when she goes on the listing appointment next week, she's already got all this information. She's not finding out these questions when she gets there. She's already got ahead of her time what's going on. So the types of custom forms that you would want to make would be like a buyer intake form, a seller intake form. What about joining your team? So I had a guy in Florida, he owns a brokerage. And when somebody joins his brokerage, he wants to know what are their favorite restaurants, what are their hobbies, what's their spouse's name. He needs a copy of their driver's license for insurance for their area. And so we created a custom form that onboards new agents that are joining that company. You'll want custom forms for your webinars and seminars or evergreen recordings like the mortgage broker interview series. You're going to ask different questions on that form than you would on joining the team form. And then any lead gen, anything that's lead gen, you want to be able to create a form. Because you don't want to have like these, you can use Canva or Google and make these free Google Sheets. But then what do you want to do? You have to copy and paste the data out of that into your CRM. So you want to find something that does this. And I'll show you an example in a second, like where you can find all these tools. A survey builder is different than a form builder. So a form is when you're asking people to give name, phone number, and email. A survey is an advanced form. So an example of using a survey would be when we sell a home, we would email a survey to the people, and on the very first question, it would say, please rate us 1 out of 5 stars. Anybody who rates 3 or lower, it then takes them to a private form that says, okay, please share your experience. But if they do 4 or above, it takes them right to Google. So this is a way for us to scrub out the bad reviews and not automatically send them to Google to leave us a bad review. Because if they're already telling me it's a 3, I don't want that public. And I got to find out what did we do wrong. So you can do surveys are basically an advanced version of the form that you can say if they answer a certain way at the beginning part of the survey, finish by then taking them this direction. So those are really cool. That's just one example of how you could use a survey. I want to talk about automations and look at the background, how complicated and overwhelming that is going to be. It doesn't matter what tool you're using. If you're creating an automated 32-touch program, it's overwhelming. You already are paralyzed with starting it, right? And so my suggestion to you is don't even go into the CRM and try and create any automation. Go into a Word document and with your own brain, be a real person and be like, okay, if I was a buyer, what types of content would I want? How frequent would I want those touches to be? You got to make your follow-up plan an extension of you. And so if you're not comfortable doing a 50-touch program, then fine, make a 4-touch program, but make it something that you'd actually want to send and receive. And so what I do is I never log into a CRM and create my automations. I always just start with a Google Doc or like Microsoft Word or something, and I just start writing it out there. Okay, what's the first email that I'm going to send? What's the first text that I'm going to send? How many days do I want to wait before I'm reminded to touch this person? And I just write it all out, because once I have it written out, then I can go into my CRM and actually figure out how to build the thing. But if you just try and jump right into your CRM building an automation, what's going to end up happening is you're just going to use the pre-canned stuff that they give you, which is very Americanized. We don't have palm trees around here, guys, so like your email that has a palm tree in it don't make sense. So I never just use the canned stuff, I just make my own. And I start by just using a Word document. And oh, and guess what? You can use ChatGPT to help you to create that sort of stuff. So types of automations that we would make, showing reminders. So I set up a girl that when she's booking a showing with the person, she just uses her calendar and it sends an automatic reminder to her clients that says, hey, we're seeing each other in 24 hours. This is the date, time, location. And then an hour before the showing, a text goes out to remind the person. And she's not getting any ghosting. She's not getting any people that are showing up to her appointments. Any of your lead follow-up, obviously you want to have an automation for that. Open house registrations, I would want an open house task program for anybody that comes to an open house. The big one that we get complained about in this industry is after you sell a home, you don't stay in touch, right? So I would want a seller touch program that after I sell a home, I keep in touch with that person, and it's never salesy. It's always just to still be their friend in the business, because who's your greatest source of referrals? The people that you've already helped buy and sell a home. And if you don't stay in touch, guess what? They know 5 other realtors, or at least 3, right? So if you're not staying in touch, yeah. Okay, your calendar, obviously that would be an automation. Sending out any resources. So if I want to send out a buyer guide or a seller guide, instead of me like, oh, I got to log into Gmail and find the attachment, it's like too much work. I can create an automation that just sends that whole package with follow-up touch programming. Okay, if you have a CRM that has like a mobile app, they're all junk, by the way. So get over that part. But what I use my mobile app for is this, the note with the next call date. That's all you need in your app. Doesn't matter what app you're using, they all have the ability to add a next call date, a reminder, and I just keep pushing that date forward. Never done. I never mark it off as done. I just do it and then change the date and push it. Should I reach it in 2 weeks or in 2 months or in 2 years? Whatever. I'll set it, and that's the only thing I use to see the app for on my phone, is to do that. I'm going to skip that because it won't make sense for those. Smart list. Okay, so most people think in their CRM I can search by name. I can pull up people, search their name, search their email, search their phone number. Well, you should also be able to search combinations of things. So here's an example of if I wanted to send out a house value letter to people, I would say, okay, I want any of these tags. Anybody whose tag is my sphere, a past client, a lead, or newsletter. So I would get that list. Plus, not these tags. If their tag is a realtor or a tenant, I don't want them getting this letter. So that would remove the people from my list. And because I'm doing a direct mail, I need their address. So if any of my people are missing their address, remove that as well. And so maybe I got a database of 800 people, but when I do it, this combination, it shrinks it down to like 250. Well, okay, these are the 250 that I want to be mailing out to. And I would mail them like a house value report. If I want to do an email blast, I would pick everybody who's in my newsletter or whatever the list is that you're intending to send it to, not realtors, so I would remove all of the realtors. I would want to make sure that they have an email because I'm about to send an email. And then I would mail them like the spring newsletter or the summer newsletter or the client appreciation letter or whatever you got going on. Do you guys know what a key card is?
Are you still sharing your screen?
Are they not saying it? I don't know. How do I tell if you're...
Go back to the meeting at the top tab.
Yeah.
And then bottom middle. There you go.
So this was pre-recorded, by the way. My whole session so far I pre-recorded, and I'll get you guys the video for anybody that might have been online that probably didn't see any of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so printing labels and exporting is something that you can do. So the variable data printing, scan this QR code. I did a webinar on how to do variable data printing. You can do it through Microsoft and you can do it through Google. I suggest the Microsoft version of doing it. And this template, I'm going to give you this is a Canva template. And this is like if I was to do a mass direct mail to my home database, what would I send them? It would be something like this. And it's just a bunch of your resources. It's real estate related. It's got your photo up at the top, a QR code to your website, your logo, and yeah, variable data printing. You can send that out to 300 people or 1,000 people, and it would get delivered to their house. I'm going to skip this, so if you didn't get to scan it, I'm going to hook you up still. And so at the end of this, I'll pull up another QR code for you guys. Snippets and quick replies. So You ever have to send the same message over and over and over? An example would be you get a lot of feeds from Facebook or Realtor.ca, it's the same type of question. And so you have to respond with the same type of response over and over and over. So in Google, you can do this where it's called a template. And you can just have all your replies already typed out. That way you don't have to like literally do it every time. Just do it once and save it. So here's an example. I'm excited to meet you at my office. It's located at 123 Street, Nashua, Ontario. The parking is at the rear. This is a Google map. I would have to send that to every client that I ever plan on meeting at the office, right? So I do it once, I save it as a template. That way I never have to type it out ever again. You can do that in Google for free. Just it's called the templates, and you can have a whole bunch of them. If you want to do this directly on your phone, Google search whatever your phone is. So either iPhone, keyboard text replacement, or Android keyboard text replacement. And that's going to show you how to set up your own autocorrect. You know when you're typing something and you spell it wrong and it autocorrects? So you can create your own autocorrections. So I have one that says MYC and it autocorrects and types out my cell number. MYE, it autocorrects and types out my email. MYW, it autocorrects and types out my website. So I've got this autocorrection for all the things that I'm always sharing over and over and over again. And what's cool about the keyboard text replacement is that because it's built into your keyboard, it therefore works with every app on your phone, whether you're using Gmail or KWEn's app or whatever you guys are using. It'll work on all your devices, and it's just a keyboard text replacement. That's a really good hack. Okay, newsletter builder. So, okay, who hates getting spam? Yeah, so don't get so excited that you can spam people. Because you're like, oh, I need spam, and then like next month you're spamming everybody. So like, I don't know. If you are to create a newsletter, there's a lot of drag and drop newsletter builders, and I found a hard time creating newsletters. So I like to focus more on what's happening in the community of like events that are happening, fun, family, relevant events. Anything that's happening with major, like maybe there's a highway extension or something happening with the green belt, or like, you know what I mean, things that actually impact the real estate market. I'm not about the fix your roof tips or like baking recipes or whatever, and I'm not knocking that if you're doing that. You need to be doing something, so do what you do, I don't really care. But anyways, having these drag and drop builders, you can actually like build something in your image of like how you actually like to send and receive something. And the types of content that I find work really well is just like true reality, like stuff that's happening that is fun and free and local within the local community. By the way, I went back up. So we went down the Oshawa Library, DurhamRegent.com. There's a whole bunch of websites that have events and they have a calendar of events. Well, guess what? You can hit skip, skip, skip and go forward next month, the month after. It shows you all the upcoming stuff. So we would just look at all the events coming up next month or the next quarter, and we would consolidate and put all of that together on our blog, and we would make a blog post talking about all the upcoming stuff, and we would link to that. And we weren't linking to DurhamRegent.com and the Oshawa Library. We just saw what events were happening and then connected with people in the community. If you need any of the tools that I'm talking about, you don't need it all under one roof. It's good if your CRM does landing page, form builder, and all that stuff, but most of them don't do all of it. So where do you go to get the plugins? I go to AppSumo, so AppSumo. You go there and say, well, say you need a calendar. You would go there and you would literally search the word calendar, and it's going to show you a whole bunch of products. So this is very much like Groupon. You know Groupon, where they'll do an email and they're like, oh, manicures and pedicure, 50% off, right? So this is the exact same thing, only it's for software. And any of the software that you buy through here, it's lifetime deal. So if I was to buy Calendly, for example, I would not go to Calendly and get it from them. I would go to AppSumo and see, do they have Calendly or do they have something that compares with Calendly? Because I pay once. It's usually $49 US, so it's like a gazillion Canadian, but anyways. So I'd way rather like buy something once and not have that monthly nickel and diming that really adds up. Because how many things do we buy and then you don't end up using it, and then you forget that you're paying for it, and now you don't know why you're like racking up so many points on your credit card. Well, I go to AppSumo and a lot of the tools. So if you need just a calendar, if you need just like a QR code builder, if you need a survey builder, if you need a landing page builder, you can get these tools from AppSumo. If you need to connect your data, so say like we have a rule with any new coaching client, we'll automate their realtor.ca leads, because that's where they get most of their stuff from. And so we have to take the emails that they're getting from realtor.ca and scrape the information and then automate it to put it in. And we use one of these 3 tools. So Zapier is the big one on the block. Make is the next biggest one, the competitor that a lot of people are shifting to. And Mail Parser, I don't know how to say that, that's the cheapest one. So that's the one we use. That's the exact same thing, and just less money. Zapier is more advanced, but anyways, if you just need to get like my leads that are coming from realtor.ca and Zillow and KWEn and whatever else, you can automate that, say when these emails come in, add them to my CRM and trigger this campaign. And it's like automated. I can help you guys. So this, I absolutely love when I work here, because I honestly, if most people that were with me back then would know, I would just walk right into your office to share ideas. Be like, oh man, look what I just made. You want a copy? What would you add to it? And I would like co-collaborate with people. So I'm all about that. I'm about real estate and I'm about marketing. Like other kids, when they were a kid, they would gather and collect hockey cards and baseball cards, and they would have binders of these cards. Pokemon, I guess, is what the cool kids are doing now. You know what I collected? Advertising. I was a dork. I'd go to the dentist with my mom, and I would rip a page out of the magazine. I'd be like, I like the way they frame that story. And I had binders of advertising. I had like the packaging. I thought I was going to be a Lego designer for the packaging. That's what I thought I was going to grow up to be. But instead, I'm still packaging. I'm still designing. It just happens to be in the world of real estate. So if you guys need help like setting up any of these types of systems where you're like, oh, I want this, the seller intake form would be like a good one, then you can text me at that number. And actually, I have a better one. Try this. Scan that QR code just as a test, and you're going to see that it actually sends me a text message from your phone. So most people believe a QR code, when you create a QR code, what does it do? It goes to a website. QR codes are way more advanced. Now you can do a QR code when they scan it, it logs them into your guest pass for the Wi-Fi. You can scan it, that it sends them your contact card. You can scan it, in this case, I had it send me a text. So you could do this on your for sale sign, by the way, have a QR code that when the person scans it, it just sends the word featured, and then it would automatically send them a page to your website with all of your listings right off of your for sale sign. And what's cool about this is I just got all of your cell numbers without you having to fill in the form because it was your text. So without you even registering anything, at least I got your number. I tricked you. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to be with you guys later on this afternoon, and we're going to be talking about AI, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I use Canva to create like a buyer guide, seller guide. Today, what we're going to build later on is going to be like more like a community guide for Oshawa, like a handout, and we're going to co-create that, and then I'm going to give it to you guys as a template that you can edit and have and make your own. But we're going to use AI to create the images. We're going to use AI to do the research. We're going to do it in real time. So thank you for hanging out with me now, and I'll be with you in the afternoon.
Any questions for Danny? Let us know. Yeah. Good time for questions if anyone has any.
Yeah.
I know we're supposed to say command, but what is your favorite follow-up software or CRM?
Am I allowed to say anything other than command?
Go ahead.
So I white labeled one from another company, and I'll tell you the company. It's called High Level. Go High Level. It's the best that I found that's all in one. If you go directly to them, they're US dollars, and you get the exact same thing through me as Canadian. That's why I don't mind sharing who I use. And I used to use Infusionsoft, and they stopped innovating years ago. And what I like about High Level is that it has all of the tools, every single slide I talked about here today, you can do in one program. So it all connects and it all interworks. So that's my hands down into the one I've been using and pushing for years now. Is the one that we white label, but you can just go freely find them, called High Level. But I suggest you don't go through me because you're going to get real estate specific like templates and setup. Yeah. 97 Canadian a month. And it's all the tools: QR code builder, landing page builder, survey builder, form builder, the mass texting, mass email, all of it. Yeah, that's the American one. Yeah. So just add that phone number there. Just text me what's the CRM, and I'll send you a link. The video that's for it.
Watch over here.
Hey.
Question on the people on the line, Jaden Kennedy. Can you also put the name of your CRM you're discussing so I can put it in the chat?
Yeah, that is yep, I can. And
Wait, Don, can you ask the other question too?
Bottom right. Bottom right. The blue dot. Yeah, there you go.
Cool. Hey, Jamie, by the way, and everybody online. So look at this. I'm typing MYVIP in the bottom right. Watch when I hit enter. It typed out the URL for me. That was an auto correction. I created whatever MYC types out myself. Oh, I'll do that. MYC types out my phone. MYE types out my email. You know what I mean? I didn't have to type 20 different digits. I typed 3. So that's the power of the keyboard text replacement function on all of our phones. And it works on my computer, it works on my iPad, it works on my phone.
And a follow-up question from Jaden is, if we scan the QR code, does your number, sorry, did our number, I know did our number automatically go into your CRM when we scan the QR code?
Yeah. Well, as long as you scanned it and sent that message, I pre-programmed it to say KW Energy, and if a person hits send, then yes.
And will it put a tag and or put them on a text drip?
Yeah, I tag all of you as attended an event, so I know these people attended an event. It's the only way they would get entered is through that. Yeah.
And do they get put on a text drip automatically?
So I sort of. So not a spam one. I'm not spamming people, but it is going to say, okay, great, I'm going to send you an email. What's the best email? So it's going to ask you for your name. It's going to ask you for your email, and then it's going to say, hold tight, I'll send you a blog like later this week. So that's the extent of the automation. And then, but if I wanted to, it could be whatever. I could spam you guys. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Just now.
Yeah. What was it?
I'd like to get to know you better.
Did I send that?
Yeah.
I'll have to see that. I'd like to get to know you better. Mostly it just needs your name. Yeah, mostly it's just to ask for your name.
In between the two?
Cool. Okay. Well then, we'll be with you guys doing the AI thing this afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say, Jamie, online, I pre-recorded this whole presentation that I just went through, and the one that I'm going to be doing. So I'll get you guys that online to send out later, like in a couple days.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. All right, we are running ahead of schedule here, so we are going to take a quick 5-minute break before we go into our next presentation.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you showed me today.
So we're.
Yeah, it's already in presentation here, but we do go back to Google Meet. And I don't know why.
We don't.
I'm gonna try to see. You need everything. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have
We can like, you do. So you're like North American? No. Where are you? Well, yeah, I was, but no, I live in Florida. Where? British Columbia. British Columbia. Okay. So like talking with you, I do too. You and I would share screen. Okay, good. And then my message for me. Yep. And then how? Yeah. Yeah, you can just reply, hey, what's CRM? Or and that goes right to me. Yeah. Yeah. So like, so there's automated with yeah.
So you guys,
No, I was like, sorry, Greg.
we never left. We gotta-
I understand.
Yeah, buddy, that's like choice.
Well,
Brian wants to do
that's, yep.
do this like. It was like.
Yeah.
We took a trip down. They all went over to Black side, but and I'm like, so I couldn't go.
Are you ever in the area?
So, you know what? I got my friend to Estonia for 2 weeks, and I had gone to see her on the island a couple of times,
Yeah.
right? And now we've been touching these she's actually been to Estonia. Like if I could move it. Yeah.
So we did Surrey, which is Vancouver for
Yeah.
4 years, and rain like 6 months a year. And we moved to yeah, it's been short and t-shirt weather for a month now. I've been running outside every day. Yeah.
I went there in March. Before I went to March, and like all their spring flowers were already like I went over to I'm like completely and they're like almost it was amazing. But yeah, the rain. I know I had a price certificate. That was the only thing we paid it. Right? So it's like, yeah, we get snow, it's cold, but then it's like we get
And then we didn't know. I thought it was going to be a negative, but we moved Queensland and it's a mountain, and we're on the backside of the mountain. And so all winter we had snow, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna suck. No, it was clean, dry, and I cross country ski from my back before every day.
That's amazing. So you guys found a new place to live this last time? And then I decided.
Yeah, so with panic mode, so I ended up reserving a spot in Arizona for the winter to pack up. And then, we look across through the flag. And then let's go down one.
I would have. But you're better. I think Jamie likes my friend. Yeah. He's from Stone. She's. I think he's doing it. How many times Arthur's does like in the valley? Like he watches it.
Yeah.
It's like he's like some trees. I think maybe not just any other.
Carlos. This can be my volume. Sorry for everyone that.
It still does.
I don't know where Carlos is gone. So.
Good, how are you?
Okay, we're ready to go.
Yep.
Oh, Carlos, did you send me that other link?
Okay, guys, we're gonna get started with the next session. So everyone can start taking their seats.
So used to teach in 6 So I might go off and teach one of the. Yeah, Google the overview.
You gotta share your screen. You are.
Okay, guys, if we can all take our seats.
I don't know what's different from when he was up there.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna get started now. And our next session is me and Carlos, and we're gonna talk a bit about how to train your chat GPT, which seems really difficult, but it's really one step and then 5 to 10 minutes afterwards. So Carlos here is our tech director for Kingdom Energy Experience and Advantage, and he's here to show us how to train our chat GPT and make it become our digital sidekick. Whether it's simple day-to-day tasks or showing us how to craft clear communication, Carlos is going to make that very easy for us. So I guess the first question I have, Carlos, is why should real estate agents care about AI?
For having me on this talk today, because AI is only as good as the first use. That'd be an awesome experience. A great question. Short answer is, you speak well of real estate to do your duties, to do in business, not to be a tech expert. And AI will need to do that. But you can do up your time, with the expertise that you need and in your day-to-day.
I think there's lots of talk about how AI is replacing jobs and getting rid of people in that middle person. Do you think AI will replace a real estate agent?
Yeah. Gary, a few years back, on your life, when he said, the human experience of making this deal for people with their internet assets of a house was can never be replaced by a computer. So we should look at it that way. We should look at it as a tool that will make us better, faster, and connect with our clients. Better.
And with AI changing and new systems and software coming out, a lot of us, me included, feel like I'm not a tech expert. Is it something that everyone in the room here can literally start today and take the first steps and get things underway?
Absolutely, you don't need to be accepted, but he is a tech expert.
I'm a boomer.
When people ask me, how do you measure someone that's really good at tech? You don't need to be a programmer. You need to learn how to navigate. Right? And versus like before, people the typewriter, you used to keyboard. And you used to always same thing. Just dive in and use it. You can use ChatGPT. Your day-to-day basis, if you're texting someone. And if you're texting someone, you just text ChatGPT or your meeting or your administrator and do the same.
So really what Carlos is saying is it's a great tool that's going to give us our time back. So now we have face-to-face time with our clients. We're not doing all the emails, trying to be a marketer, all those hats that Dave was trying to tell us that we get to wear. This is going to really simplify everything, and it really starts with the different software systems. So we have ChatGPT, Copilot, Kenny. Do you want to explain a little bit? Gemini, I don't know who Marshall did. Carlos, going to just explain a little bit of each one.
So AI is sometimes we should overwhelming term. To simplify it, let's say you have this AI systems created by big companies. And these are the mainstream ones, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, and they are real personal assistants. That's this one. It's a very diverse topic that I was thinking about. Interestingly, Gemini is one that's created by Google, and if you have a Gmail account, I know we're going to do something because it's going to be featuring that later, the Gemini tools. But Gemini is available to you in the project accounts to use that. Go to the Gemini website, and use that. It's similar to ChatGPT. It's there in competition as ChatGPT. Copilot is made by Microsoft, and all of these programs are designed to work alongside, not to replace you or your assistant, but work alongside you and make you leverage technology. In your listings, in your marketing, with brainstorming, et cetera, et cetera. So it takes your time, it enhances your marketing, and the one I love the most is improving your engagement and relationship with your client. Carlos, how do you do that? Well, if you know how to say you can communicate, that's your answer. Look at your device and your assistant, and we'll say, okay, how do I communicate with that SC, with the TI, and those who use statistics? I don't know the culture of the person that I'm talking to. Very diverse culture in many places. What are the tips in communicating with this person? Or you can say, I'm lost and I'm late for my meeting. I don't know where I am. Take a picture of where you are, and then you guys just tell me you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you just dash on call or you want that certain distance. It's amazing really how a lot of people nowadays think that it's not possible. Just to drive. Let's give some examples.
Yeah. So creating compelling descriptions, personalized client communication, you can create your social media content, addressing client objections. I know people in the room here that when they've got emails from clients, they've had to deliver bad news or they're having tough conversations. They're literally copying and pasting that into ChatGPT for a response and telling them how to guide it. It gives your neighborhood and market analysis, email marketing campaigns, website and blog content, does everything for you. I use it for a food plan. The one thing that Carlos had to go through yesterday was how to train your ChatGPT. Who here is using ChatGPT on a regular basis? And most of the room. Who here walks through training their ChatGPT to get to know who they are? And the couple.
What was that?
When you started using ChatGPT, did you just give it a prompt of tell me what this is or give it directions on something to provide you, right?
No.
One thing Carlos had me go through yesterday when we were going through this was get my ChatGPT to know who I am. So here is a prompt, and everyone has a one-pager in front of them. This is what Carlos had me enter into ChatGPT yesterday, and it took 5 to 10 minutes. It was really simple and easy, and it asked me a list of 10 questions. What's important to you? What's your communication style? What do you want your clients to think of you at the end of the day? It made it very simple, and it was like I was having a conversation with someone trying to get to know me. At the very end of it, it asked if they want me to create social media products, newsletters, all these different things. And it just started going to town. It was fantastic. For 5-10 minutes, it knows who I was, and it will continue using that style unless I otherwise tell it. Like Simon said anyway, I'll try to tell it. But yeah, on the right hand side, you'll see 5 to 10 minutes. It's very simple, very easy. Use that handout, go home tonight and start with that. And we're going to kind of get into our 4 prompts here that give us effective responses or content that should come out of it. So I'm going to pass this over to you.
So are we covering prompt?
Yeah, we're going to start going to prompts.
So I'll just cover really quick as you're talking here. What is prompt? What is the prompt? So to simplify it, it's how you communicate with your AI. And there's a certain structure how there's a certain structure of how you want to communicate with it. You just don't go right about the money. It's too broad. You have to be specific. Like, for example, you have an assistant, you have context. And the principles for this is be explicit, be specific. So this is effective content is explained here. But there are effective prompt. It says write a 500-word analysis of basic planning policy. So instead of saying instead of saying context, I need the detailed number where it's for. Okay, you provide sentences and context. So the AI will understand quotations, will understand bullets, etc. And then I want it to tell me the formula. So I said, and 400 response to the clear headings include 2 to 3 specific policies. In that matter, my results is closer to what I expect. Do I get it on the first try? You don't. Well, so the traffic that the 4 iterations, that answer that you're looking for. So you want to have that thing called, does that make sense? It's, so there's an example of the property. So the property might be listed. So we say to ChatGPT or whichever the Gemini, hey chat, can you craft a property listing description for the bedroom? Which city I would honestly would always be specific to this data. Focusing on the unique features, proximity to shopping, attractions, and bicycles. So before ChatGPT will show you what's on the left and on the right, obviously it's more descriptive in its result. You do that again with a follow-up question, but you get this, right? Does that make sense now? Yep. Another example is communication and follow-up. So building relationships, right? So you use this prompt, hey chat, can you write a text message to my seller clients to let them know things are still forward? Contact. It sounds conversational, professional, with emojis. And this is the result it will tell you. So in case it even repairs what you can send to your client. A lot of you probably are really using this sort of stuff, right? And you can see it also has emojis, it also has features for you to send. Cool tip. You want to talk with your AI positively. A lot of people tell me why is AI getting over in the future and it's going to be getting back to me. Probably not really, but what you needed is a result of usage. So if you're more pessimistic and you're trying to do business, that will be the way to go because the AI will adapt to how you communicate. So you want to be proactive in messaging, positive, sentences, and direct forward sentences leading to the result. Yeah. Second, social media content creation. So, typically, we would create social media captions for each of the social media pages, Facebook, Instagram. Another way of doing it with your AI is creating a prompt for all 3. Or using one prompt that you already have, and just telling it, create a prompt that fits for these platforms. So you literally just copy and paste, and like what Dan said, no automation, automatically. So we're reading on instead of canned responses, it's still kind of his canned responses, but catered to how you talk, how you communicate, right? So in this example, the multiplication problem. The product says status Facebook post converting to Instagram, hashtags, LinkedIn, or YouTube captions, TikTok captions. Imagine the time you save instead of trying to think of it. And I can even say here, let's say, change this Facebook post and convert it to, say, my video script and limit it to 60 characters. You can
I think the nice thing with that is once you create one description, you're not rewriting it. Let ChatGPT or whatever system you use to rewrite it in the format for the next system that you're going to post it on, or tell it to create all 3 options for you. Do LinkedIn, do Instagram, do Facebook. Also create a video guide of you walking through that house. Now you can do a walking tour for your open house that weekend or just coming soon. Would be another great option for that.
As a coach, I also talk to them. Hey, Jackson, that doesn't sound maybe a little bit more optimistic and it's different. But you can tell them the tone, the speed, context, like that conversation. So overcoming objections. A lot of you do this in cases to train yourselves or do noise conversations. So here's an example. Interest rates are too high right now. What do? So the ChatGPT prompt that we're gonna say is give me an SEO optimized Facebook post, 5 instances as a potential home buyer should consider buying a home. Another question, projections, home prices to the market, and then that's the prompt. SEO is search optimization. Search optimization. So you guys probably know this. It's so that you're seen. You have to use ChatGPT on the side note because it's less and less of the searches now are being done on an SEO level. Should Google directory. Searches are now more ChatGPT. When was the last time you guys visited an education group? But yeah, exactly. Don't. So people struggling to fight this down with AI. The long short of it is you need to adapt so that you're searchable on AI. Well, takeaways, ChatGPT will transform your property descriptions in a much faster way. Not to replace you, but if you use it right way, it will definitely improve your quality of work and experience, client experience. The personalization and communication in a much more deeper level. Your social media can be executed much more faster. And then projecting time again, absolutely, but it makes you practice really active.
Can I add a point that I think is very relevant? So I had an aunt who said to me a couple of years ago, I can't get involved with technology, it's too much for me. I'm probably the oldest person in this room right now, and I have 20 years left of my career. Imagine just looking at how much AI has changed our career in the last year. If you don't saddle up and start using this technology, you are going to be, you'll be executed from the industry. You have to grasp onto this technology, saddle up and start using it, or you'll be out of the industry. And then like, if I'm the oldest person in the room and I've got 20 years left, you all have 30 to 40 years left. But you really have to agree.
I think one thing which Carlos was just talking about, kind of going back to what Danny did, as Danny was kind of creating his smart plans, think about any kind of communication that you will have on a regular basis with your clients. A lot of our business is freaky, we talk about the same thing. Write down all of those things and have ChatGPT create that write up for you, and then systematize it and do the keyword that Danny was talking about. So again, you're not always sending or creating it, it's already there for you. It frees up a lot of your time to work on all of it. Yeah, Nicole?
Maybe this was addressed in the previous question, but how does Gemini compare to ChatGPT? It's just so easy. Right in. I started using
Could you repeat the question for those on the call?
So how is Gemini different from ChatGPT?
I love it, and I just wanted to make sure, like, is it comparable to ChatGPT in your opinion? Is it inferior? Is it superior?
Good question. Here's her, Reggie would like to answer.
Gemini beats ChatGPT out of 29 out of 30 metrics. Gemini beats ChatGPT in 29 out of 30 metrics. Google invented AI. It was their system that ChatGPT was built on, and all of those other guys came alongside later. But Gemini is ahead. If you guys watched Google I/O a couple of weeks ago, you'll see the crazy stuff that they're working on. I'm going to show you guys something in a few minutes. But yeah, I prefer Gemini. I used to work for Google, so I'm kind of biased. But
And the thing is, you don't have to sign in. Like when I go into ChatGPT, I sign in and.
well, and like Carlos said, and I just found this out the other day, with your command email or with your email, you actually have access to it. So
For free?
Yeah. I just signed, you really just signed it, it's already set up. Yeah, and you're using the latest model. You're using 2.5. Standard and are using the plus model, but it doesn't matter. I don't think there's much difference between the two.
Sorry for question. Ready to follow up question. I know it's kind of just curious what metrics, like
maybe like broad. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Reggie, just for that case. So the question was, what metrics are better?
No, I was, because I feel like most of us probably use ChatGPT in their stance. I just find it surprising to hear Gemini to be so much better, so just curious to hear what. So why, what metrics? So I don't know all 30 off the top of my head. Yeah. Token count is huge. What that means is how much the AI can store in its memory and look back on. So that way it can recall more data. Speed at which it accesses that data. Gemini is much quicker than ChatGPT. Accuracy, they've done like they're 80+% accurate now with their responses. So I mean, those are just three that I can think of off the top of my head. But if you Google it, you know the answer.
Let me just answer, Nicole here. My take on it is, it depends how long you use the AI system, and also it's very, for an average user, it's very close. Competition with the AI systems, they go up and down almost every week now. Usually not. But if you use one model consistently, and it learns even more, I would say the experience is far better. When I try to shift one from the other, I'm going to be sometimes let's say Gemini, which I tried to migrate last week. Like, I don't know what to talk about, and ask you follow-up questions. So use one and stick to it and play around with things, but teaching is the way to work better. It becomes more.
I'm going to share one quick thing there. Like I used Gemini to plan my trip to Europe. It was so much fun. It was so everything down to like actually where I should go because I'm traveling with my 14-year-old daughter to where I should stay within the city to watch. It was awesome.
I also did that for family reunion. We did a road trip afterwards, and I was like, I don't want this. And I didn't want to do the research. So I don't try to do research anymore. I had ChatGPT create different itineraries for me, for Rebecca, and Kate. And I said, this is what I like, and this is what I want to do. This is what this person wants to do. This is
You
what
have to
that
share it
person wants
with
to
me,
do.
Taylor.
And it gave me a full itinerary of different things. It was fantastic. So never take your phone out. Carlos is good enough, and he's giving us all of his prompts. So for here, it's going to give you prompts on how to write your house description, your social media, every single prompt you want. Carlos has given us, I think it's 5 or 6 pages of different prompts that you use, and all you do is change the details on the inside. So thank you to Carlos for that. Everyone scan it. It's going to take you to the Agent Resource tab where we have all of the little handouts that Education Department is giving you this year. And then I'm going to switch over to the next one.
There you go.
But I'm going to say this as a huge strengths in your advantage, energy, and experience to make AI this such an incredible success. Better read it out in words. I'll show you later on in movie this. All this confidence in each share of the curiosity, courage, and justified amount of caffeine to take on future powered AI intelligence. As you real AI is like a toddler with a jetpack, one powerful and sometimes very better than the instructions than us. But today it wasn't about replacing people, it's about unlocking. Let's say I said that, right? And I wanted to communicate with that first. What I'm going to show you is what Jamie and I have been working on. We teach, teach the brokerages, probably early July, very soon. So we talked to you later about this, but here is. Yeah, nothing here with me.
Oh, volume on the bottom left.
No, that's the microphone.
Okay. It was just working.
Try muting your mic
Is it in Filipino?
and then play the video.
Okay.
Okay, so restart it.
So Let me try and say it on the French without you recording everything. Experience. So this is me speaking as well. Yes, I just read out. Let's try and keep with my main friend. KW Advantage, KW Energy, KW Experience. So that was me speaking. Henry, and we get the next speaker back. KW Advantage, KW Experience. Without it, so, imagine a system where I allow someone to speak repeated posts and it communicates. Even if I don't speak these languages, I cater to local issues. So, that is the class that we have to go soon. It's a preview. But it's 6,000. The very high level, but it's also easy to use.
So. Five. I remember that, Jim.
When I say hallucinations, it's like when you Google search, it just.
You guys can turn it down a little bit.
When you Google search, you don't refrain or give the information on Google. You know, you check the page as well. Same thing. Same thing. When you ask a question, you want to verify it, result, you ask additional questions, and you do research on your own. Because the AI text monitors, it's just how it's programmed. If it's fed raw data, it's got majority of the data, however, false things, it will send you wrong. For example, I was trying to install the filter, which is called a filter irrigation, and I couldn't remember which way it should be pointing. I took a picture of it and I asked, where's this? And it said, either you're doing it right, it should be pointing towards the heater. But it's obviously I didn't repent. I asked it again, are you sure? Because I think it's right. Absolutely, you're right. There's I don't want to just looking at the arrow wrong, so I get the picture of the arrow. And it said, oops, my mistake. You actually should be the other way around. So you guys make mistakes too. So if you're writing analysis, run a CNA, you know, this area, this property, and you just say that and send it to your client. I would recommend that. You have to make sure you get the right data, double, triple, checking it before you send it up. That makes sense.
So guys, we are going to transition into our next session. Questions we're going to keep for after. So Carlos is going to be here today. He is going to be up in the front or at the side here. So if you have questions, come see Carlos during lunch. And we're going to bring up Reggie now. So Reggie is an agent. He's going to show us his software, and his system actually has tools that remove some of the negative or the inaccuracies that is associated with AI. So Reggie, come on. Please. Yeah. Have you on mute right now? Once you're ready, just put that over.
I'll check out.
While we're setting up, so what Reggie is gonna be showing is how we now. Chef, yeah. Absolutely. To avoid that first year. So.
I see. So, that's good. Hello. Test. Hello. Can you guys hear me back there?
Yeah, go up one more on the wall.
One. Testing. Okay. Okay, so while Stan is setting up, a little bit of history about us. This is my son. We both got into real estate at the same time. We decided that we wanted to express ourselves in a different way than what we were doing. We were working for IT companies. I used to work with this little company you guys probably never heard of called Google. I was building street view tours for Google Maps at one point. Different avenues of tech, working for ISPs and all kinds of different solution providers. Prior to that, well, I've always kind of been in tech my whole life. I worked with the OPP. I worked with the warrant attachment. My partner was involved in a shooting in which someone died. I decided to change my career path. I didn't want to do that anymore. So then I started a business, kind of been entrepreneurial throughout my career. So yeah, it's basically how we got into real estate. It's like it was actually Google. Google had a program in 2014 where they were hiring street photographers. And so I said, hey, that's kind of cool. I'll maybe jump in on that, see what that's all about. So I started building street view tours for Google Maps. And then I was like, well, who else needs street view tours? Sure enough, at the time, realtors. So I started working with some of the local real estate agents in Sudbury. And I just, I've got all kinds of street view stuff out there. Next slide. So that's what basically brought us to where we are. It was because of that we actually got into real estate. It was learning all the virtual technology. I'll show you guys all our VR stuff later if you want to see it. And then when we got a real estate license, we started building all of our own tours. We fly our own drones, build our own websites, media, everything. We pretty much are one-stop shop with what we do. So that brings us to where we are today. A couple of years ago, we were trying to struggle with this idea because pricing was all over the map. With COVID and the changes that brought along with this, it was really difficult to price properties properly. So we started building a spreadsheet. And this is actually a screenshot from the original spreadsheet that we were using at the time. We were trying to build an automated valuation system based on the data. Now with this, we had to actually manually type all this stuff in for it to spit out the answers. That was not fun. And it almost probably took longer than if we were just going to see it in the regular way, but we wanted the accuracy, so that's where we were going for. Surprisingly accurate, even though it was a rudimentary system. Next slide. And it still worked, and it gave us the idea. So Google created a new tool. Oh, because I work with Google and Skylar, we have access to Google's technology before most of the public does. So we get invited to different softwares and stuff, like we're beta testers for a lot of those different things before they put it out to the public. So one of the things that they brought out was this crazy new idea called Notebook.LM. And they launched that in 2023. We were working with our spreadsheet in about the same time. When we first started using this tool, it was not great, as most software is. It takes time to build. But we've seen the advantages of it. We can understand, hey, this is actually pretty cool. Like, once they figure this out, it's going to be great. Next. So enter the modern LM. So this now, you guys can go and check it out yourselves. I don't know what level of LM you'll have access to. We pay for it, so we have like a plus version. But yeah, this is basically it right here. And it's a tool that allows you, back to the slide, to put your own data in. First of all, I want to really point out the first one. It's privacy focused. Because we're working with live data, names, addresses, and all of that information, that is not going out to the web. Yes, you're uploading it to Google's LM, but it's not publicly available. So I think it's really important to point that out, because a lot of people probably would be scared to put it out if they thought, hey, it's going to go out on the robot web somewhere. So it has access to Google's latest Gemini models. You can put up to 300 sources in. So sources are different things. So I was testing it on a friend of mine's going through the real estate course. So I grabbed the real estate book. I put the entire real estate PDF inside of LM, and then I could just question it and query it, and it would tell me exactly what the answer was I wanted to know. So I thought, oh, that's really cool. So now we can put all of the real estate books in. So now we have that as a resource. So if we ever come upon a situation, it's like, hey, how do you deal with this problem? You can just query it, and it'll bring it right up to the textbook answer. You'll know that.
I just want to add too, I use Notebook LM. I put all of Tressa in it, and I can ask it any kind of Tressa questions. So we have things that you might have asked for over and whatnot. You can get preliminary answers right from the log. It doesn't hallucinate, it doesn't pull that from anywhere else. It's right there. Yeah. So whatever you put in, it's right where it is. We're not trying to make the brokers of record go away and don't worry, you guys still have your jobs. But it'll make your jobs easier if more agents start using it. Hey, query this first, check it out, see what you think, and then talk to your broker. Okay, next. So we're going to give you the overview of the final product. We're going to work backwards. We're going to show you what it looks like when we're done, and then we're going to show you how we got there. Waterfront right there. So this is our final output. So when we send these valuations out to clients, this is what they're actually getting to see. So it's got key features of the property. Again, it's all AI generated. Obviously, they don't have to see greenhouse on the property. Well, maybe they do. It then looks in at pricing. It looks at the comparables that I fed in. If I'm going to feed in crap, you're going to get crap for an answer, right? So you have to do the longest part of this process is still doing the CMA, still pulling up the proper comparables.
Did it put this in the format for you?
Yeah, we'll show you how it does all.
So made it all pretty like this for you.
We built this within 10 minutes. I can do a full CMA, completely done with the website built, with everything within 10 minutes. So yeah, it looks at the different comparables. It looks at the market data, and this is live data. This is actually pulling the data straight from the Suburban Real Estate Board. So you guys will have your own page from the real estate board that gets sent to Korea every month. So you just select the proper board here. You teach the LM to look at this, and it then brings up-to-date data right from the board. So if the number says it's 61 days on market, 4% decline in market price, whatever, it'll factor all of that into the results. Okay, go back to the slide. So page 1. So grab your subject property. If this house has been listed before, then there's going to be a feature sheet. Download that. If it has not been listed before, what we do is while we're walking around the house on the walkthrough with the potential sellers, we're taking voice notes. Those voices being converted to text. That text will then be added to the LM so that it can pull the details of the house, right? This is not a magic wand here. It doesn't know what's in, well, not yet anyway. I mean, once it starts doing picture, like it can start to analyze pictures and videos, well, then maybe we won't even have to do the text anymore. So once you have your subject property, then next, you have to find your comps. So these are just straight up PDFs. You're downloading the PDF straight off your board. Now the quality of the output, like I said earlier, is only as good as the information that goes in. If you're, listing a $2 million waterfront property and you're using comps from a trailer park or a vacant lot, that's not what you're supposed to do. You still have to put those proper comps in. But there is a variable though. You don't have to be 1-to-1. You don't have to find, hey, this got to have exactly this. The LM will look at it. It'll say, hey, this house has 4 bedrooms, this house has 5 bedrooms. It's more comparable to this house than it is to this house. So it'll still do a lot of that work for you, but you still need to get pretty close to the comparables. Thanks. Now, the most important thing, in my opinion, is the prompt. It's asking the right questions so that you can get the right answers. And this is tricky. This is still in flux. Like, we're still working on this. We have this is our old prompt. We actually have a new AI modern efficient prompt. So we actually used AI to build our prompt. So you've got to ask the right kinds of questions so that it spits out the proper answers. And we'll go over that later. Go to your next one. Okay, so now bring up the live version of this. So this, go back to sources. Yeah. Well, this is good. Okay. So these are the sources that we put in. So we put in the property, so the subject property went in. We put in the comps, which is right here. We fed in the geo warehouse report. We told it to look at the Sudbury real estate board so we can get a clear picture of the market conditions at that time. And I don't know what that agent, well, that's the listing sheet. Oh, that's the listing sheet. Okay. So those are all of the sources that it is looking at. It's not looking out of the web. It's only looking at these pieces of information that we feed in.
This page that you're on right now, did
Yeah.
you build this
No.
page, or this is the page?
This is Google LM.
This is Google LM. So you go,
Yep.
add the data.
Yeah, the data.
Here's my prompts.
Well, okay, so it's got to bring up the prompt. Okay, so this is our current prompt. Now, a couple of things about this. You need to tell the LM what the subject property is. So the property address is at the top, so you have to tell it, hey, because it might look at some of these comparables and say, hey, this is what we're doing the analysis on right now. You have to tell them which one. Now, the other thing, so this is all, again, in flux right now, but this is what we're using currently. Realtor opinions is very influential. If you have a gut feeling, we've all been in 1,000 houses, we know sort of where things are going to fall, and we kind of know, intuition. Realtor, somebody asked earlier, is AI going to replace a realtor? No, because we still can persuade the LM to push out a certain answer by what we put in here. So if we say, house is run down, or house has got a problem, or house is this or that, or it's on the water. Yeah, it's on the water. Like, we did a prompt for someone that had a dog business, a grooming business. So we ended up putting that in, but it was attributing $50,000 additional for this business. But the business wasn't being sold at the house. So we had to go in and tweak it to say, hey, the business isn't there.
Does it work the same whether it's the app or if it's on the website?
It's probably easier on the website, but yes, it's the same.
It's doing like 90% of the work.
Yeah.
I want it to do the other 10%. So
It's getting there.
my question is,
Yep.
it's pulling up live data and numbers from Sudbury Realtor.
Yep.
It's looking at the other columns. You pulled in some other data. Why can't you also tell it to pull me the best 3 comparables?
Because we don't have.
And I will like, how do you go into Shrub, pull out Shrub and say, on this street, within 1.5 here,
You're further ahead in your brain than the real estate boards are. Once they start building this tech into the actual board data, you'll be able to do exactly that. In the meantime, we still have to take time to grab the data. Skylar and I actually just downloaded every single transaction on the Sudbury real estate board since 1987. So we're doing what you're thinking of. We've downed every single tens of thousands of transactions now are sitting on our hard drive or our Google Drive. And so now we're going through it and we're looking at who we should be sending our golden letters to. So we're actually evaluating that data, but that's a future project. Let's get back into this. So push enter. So now we've entered the prompt. This is the output. So it goes in, it does, this takes about a minute or so to generate. So it's not like quick, but it's quicker than a lot of different solutions that are out there.
A whole minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible, right? Well, imagine looking at all those sheets and then you trying to, like we used to, we've all been there. We're looking at sheets and trying to figure out how it works. So then it will then tell us our valuation and pricing strategy. So recommended offer price. So it looks at it from the buyer's perspective and the seller's perspective because we put that in the prompt. So if you're working with a seller, well then, hey, you want to get the most amount of money that you can get. If you're working with a buyer, it'll look at it from a different perspective. It'll look at the market data, see if it's selling over or under, and then it'll apply that calculation and it'll say, hey, you know, you should probably offer 589 or whatever the numbers that it pops up. I'm not really paying attention to what this says. But it tells you the likely sale range. So it does the math for you. It says, okay, so I'll give you a couple of examples. We listed a house. I told the guy he was probably going to get 407. He got 410. Holly, my wife, last night, she ran the model with a buyer. The model said between 460 and 480 is what the house would probably sell for. Her client did not want to lose out on the house. He lost out on like 5 or 6 other ones that Holly wrote offers on before this. And he won. But he went in at 490. So I don't know if the model was right or not. I don't know what the next. What? We asked the agent, we told the agent, hey, we're trying to tweak our AI. We want to know what the next offer was. But I'd be willing to bet that it's 460 to 480. Yeah. And the media we use is. Yeah, you can take YouTube videos, you can feed in YouTube videos, websites, or whatever you want. And there's no other like input that they're doing? Nope, only what you tell. Yep. And what's the annual cost for this? Nothing. You get it for free. Yep. Yeah, you guys will get a regular version. I don't think you get the plus for that. Yep. Google LM. Yep. Yep.
What is the name of the app or whatever it is?
Notebook LM. Google Notebook LM.
Is that a KW thing or it's free?
That's free to Google people. Like if you have a Gmail address. Yeah, you'll get a certain version of it.
The plus version's like 25 bucks a month. I looked it up last week.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, so this data is not clean. So then what we do is we take that data from there, we put it into Gemini, and we have another prompt, and we say, hey, clean the data, make it look pretty. You don't just take the data from the LM and you put it in an email and send it because it looks terrible. So you clean it up. So this now is the clean data. So it removes all the reference numbers and all those different little things that it doesn't need. It removes the names. So if you're sending this out to a client, you don't want names and stuff showing up. So again, that's all part of the prompt. From there, we then go into Gamma. And I think we'll run a live on this one. Do you have that set up to go live? Can you create a new one? So Gamma is an output. We were trying to decide, like we were playing with different tech to see how we can make it look pretty. So we take it straight out of Gemini. We create a website. You can make slideshows out of it. So we click on the website, or continue. And then you choose the amount of cards. Now your free version gives you 8 cards. We're actually paying for Gamma. I think it's like $100 a year. And we can put 20 cards, and that's that purple website. Yeah, and that's it. And then, oh yeah, choose your theme. So Aurora is the one I like. But you can choose any, there's 100 different ones, and then it'll generate. So what it's doing now is it's going to build it live. So there you go. So it's building the live output, like the website that people go to. Those buttons at the top are programmable. So what we do is we program one of the buttons. We'll go back to Gemini. I was doing that. Create that one. Oh, we already have it. Oh, you got one? Okay, we let it push load and then go back to Gamma. So what we do is we program the buttons at the top. When you click it, it'll go to the comps. That'll be one. When you click the other one, it goes to
the AI podcast, and then the last one is the actual AI property report.
Oh yeah, the full report. Yeah. So we create a folder for each property that we analyze, and inside of the folder we put all the comps, we put the subject property, we put the geo warehouse reports, we put everything inside of that folder, and then we direct the buttons back to it. So there, it's building that website live. Hit the podcast button, and this is the coolest thing. I don't know if you've been able to hear it. You know, yeah, no. Oh, the AI has a conversation with itself about the property, and it talks to you about the property. So when you Oh, no, it's not hearing.
Oh, maybe it's because I have this thing I have to turn to mute.
Today we're. Oh,
Anyway. Increase is cool. Increase is cool. Well, that's nothing I'm not sharing.
I think you need to
Turn the camera. Oh, better.
talk. You need to turn off the thing that started to hit play on.
Oh, I don't know where that is. I don't know, sure. Anyways, it's pretty cool. It's what we're doing. It's theoretical science right now. It's yeah, it's still in the building stage. That's there we go. That's what's working. And we're still playing with it. One of the things on the slides, go back to the slides again.
You have to,
Is verify the data. Like you can't just close your eyes and put this stuff out. It does a lot of work for you, but you're still responsible for what you put out.
you have to share your screen again.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, all right, it's been anymore. Yeah, 0 magic wands. You get 0 magic wands when you have a Google LM subscription. Go to the next one.
What does that mean?
It doesn't, you still have to put the data in, you still have to review the data. Like Carlos was saying, you still got to make sure that you're putting out good data. When you select the website, is that going to be PowerPoint or is that actually you can choose PowerPoint or website. We choose website. No, it's just straight up Gamma. Yeah. Yeah, it's its own host. It does its own thing. And then when in our email that we send out to the client, we put the address, subject, and we call a property summary. And then we email that link out. So when they click on the link, it brings them to that website. No. Well, we pay for it, so I don't know. I haven't come upon that. Go to the next one.
So, sorry, I just look at the steps right. So you use the workbook to generate the data.
Correct.
Took that data,
Put it into Gemini, scrubbed it to make it look pretty.
then cleaned it up,
Yep.
and then you took it from Gemini.
And put it into Gamma. And Gamma builds that. Yeah. Next. So I look at this as everybody has a car, but not everybody's a good driver. Everybody's gonna have that. You guys all have access to this tool now. You all know about it. You didn't know about it 20 minutes ago, but now you do. Not everybody's gonna drive it the same. I think the key is gonna be the prompt. So whoever figures out a really good prompt is gonna be really, use this tool effectively and scrubbing the data. Yeah, I mean, it's still a machine, right? It doesn't know it. It couldn't smell inside of the house when you were there. It doesn't know there's mold or whatever. So you still need to add your realtor notes. You still need to put good data. Yeah. That's it. Questions? Yeah, every listing appointment now. If I have a previous data sheet, we'll build it before we go. Like today, we're going back to meet with somebody and we've already built the data sheet for them. So we already have a website ready to go. So as soon as I get there, I can just show them. But if I've never been in the house and there's no data sheet, I have to take notes, walk around, talk about the house, and then feed that into the LM. And from there, it produces the report. Because I've already got the comps. I already know his address. I already looked at the comps. So I've got the comps. I then feed that already in. That's already the geo warehouse is already. I just don't know the details of the house until I get there. Right there on the spot. Yeah, we have our laptops. We do.
Reggie, we have a question on the line. Can this be used with multiple boards, example, BDAR and TREB?
Correct, yes. Yeah, because you go back to that site, Sky, and you can show them. So you choose your own real estate board right here. It's right on Korea's website. So Trev, here you go. Boom. So there's your live data straight from Trev that's now being fed into your LM so that it can generate property reports. On average, we are less than $10,000 off on our valuation on pricing. And I was about $300 off on one. So that was probably an anomaly because I'm usually several thousand off, but.
So do you download that information, copy and paste it, or do you use the link to the site?
So here is where you can. So here's where you can add the sources in your notebook. And so you can choose Google Docs, slides, websites, YouTube videos, or just copy text. So you can actually enter the link here. So you can go in, grab the Korea stats. You can see up here, this is the Trev one. So you can copy it and then just paste it right in here. And now it's the source that will be looked at.
It's automatically downloading all the info.
Yeah, exactly.
So also, like you say, with certain costs, that's what I want to know. I just pulled it up. I had a list like for appraisers, they got contractor pricing for everything.
Yes. Actually, you really haven't had that conversation yet.
Contractor pricing because if you don't have proper costs.
So then you know how much does a bathroom cost? How much a garage? And you can make a document. If you have that, we want that. That's the goal. Because then if it's comparing a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, or 3-bath, whatever, drop that one, it'll adjust that automatically. Yeah. That's the goal. We'll talk later.
Can you share your prompts that you have?
No, that's top secret. No, you'll have access to this. We'll create a slide.
And it looks like this, is the problem. And when you don't have an MLS sheet for your listing property, then these are the things you put in bed, bath, anything else.
We think this is a fantastic tool. I don't, like, no one else is doing it.
It's self-provided through Kelly.
Keller Williams is,
Yeah, okay. I'll have a table if apparently somebody's giving me a table, so I'll have it set up if you guys have questions. Oh, and just as an aside, we shoot all our media in VR, so if you guys want to see how we're doing our tours with our buyers, we have a lot of other buyers moving to Sudbury. So what we do is we ship one of these headsets in the mail, and they send me on a shopping spree. I go shoot all the houses they want to see in VR. I send them links, and then they put the headset on and they can stand right inside the house. So it's kind of different and cool that we're doing up there.
And so, I mean, just as a bit of an aside, so I know you're running the team up in Greater Sudbury. Do you want to just let everyone know all the areas you cover?
From North Bay to Elliott Lake, all of Manitoulin Island, up as far as to Mississippi. We'd probably go that far, just to say. So 2 hours from Sudbury in every direction.
drove down here from Sudbury for us.
Yeah, we have our dogs and dog signs out there. They don't like the heat.
Yeah. And just a little bit about Reggie and his team. So you've been 2018-ish or?
Yeah, so we got licensed in 2019 and we worked for a private sale company. 5.5 years. We did over 500 trades in real estate. The property guys, if you guys have heard of them. Yeah, we got really good at real estate. Actually, when we met with Keller Williams before we even got our real estate license, we were actually going to come here then, but thank God we didn't because we got a ton of experience. So now we feel like, hey, we're ready for the big times. And 9 months later, we had a baby. This is our baby.
Well, on behalf of all of us here at Energy, I just want to say thank you so much for all the knowledge you've shared today and for coming in and making the trip, especially for us. We'd love to have you back at some point in the future to talk about this a little bit more. And as Reggie mentioned, he'll be out for lunch over at his table going through some demos. Yeah, so thank you very much.
All right, everybody, we have lunches ready in the kitchen. There are 2 vegetarian options. We have pasta, we have salad, and we will reconvene around 12:45 to kick off our afternoon segment. Thanks, everyone. Hi, everyone. If you can all have a seat, we're going to get started. And I'd like to welcome Diana Iskander from the Lending Suite. She is one of our sponsors for lunch. Wojciech Postelli is unable to be here, but she also has a message she'd like to share about them. Is everyone sleepy now from all the pasta?
Yeah, really.
First, just wanted to say thank you to everyone for your ongoing support of the Lending Suite. I really appreciate just all of the phone calls, the referrals, the emails, it's just making my brain. If you guys ever need anything, please just reach out to me at any time. Just a quick update on the rates. I'm sure you guys saw Bank of Canada held yesterday. It was only slotted for like a 17% chance that it was going to go down. We kind of saw that happen coming. The next couple of announcements, we might start to see a decrease, probably just a quarter point each time. So just giving you guys one quick way to handle an objection of somebody saying, I'm going to wait until the rates go down. I want to fix though, because the fix has been on the rise. We do feel like it's a temporary flip. A strategy that we are giving some people is take a variable, even if you don't want to hang on to the variable for the long run, maybe you're just hanging on to it for 6 months to a year. And then once the fixed rate starts to go down is when you can convert it into a fix at that time. And then you get to take advantage of the lower fixed rates that, we are hoping for in the future. So if you do have a client who says, I do want to buy, but I'm going to wait for the rates to go down. I want a fixed rate product. We're just going to wait it out. That's a good way for them to still buy now with the prices, with the fix kind of elevated a little bit right now, but then take advantage of getting a lower rate, say in 6 months to a year. So it's just a really quick tip. I wanted to just also, on behalf of Perry, she couldn't come. She really wanted to be here. Unfortunately, business calls and she had some files that she had to work on. So she just wants to thank everyone for all of their support to her business. And she's just very thankful for each and every one of you guys. If you guys have not used her office, I highly recommend that you do use them. I try to use them exclusively when I can, and I get to take the lawyer in the transaction. Their execution is flawless. There's never an issue. And if there ever is an issue, they'll call you first before they call the client to see if there's something that so that they're not scaring people off. So their communication is amazing. If you haven't given them a try, just make sure to do that. And that's it. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Oh, sure. Are you having more people reach out? What's your business like? Because you kind of see it before us.
Right. I would say it's steady right now. The price point that everybody is getting their pre-approvals in right now is 700 to 900 at tops. Like that 900 is really top. If I was to pick an exact average, I would say 750 is probably where most of our pre-approvals are. A lot of first-time home buyers, more than I have seen in years. It's steady. It's not coming in frantically. But I would definitely say more first-time home buyers than I have seen in years. I'm sure you guys are seeing the same thing. Like it's starting to show a little bit like a buyer's market right now, right? So volume is good. Volume for us and our team is up from last year. Again, I think the conversion of a first-time home buyer to us is very different than someone who has an existing mortgage and their existing relationships with a certain financial institution that we don't have access to. But I would say volume is good, but that's the hot point right now is definitely that first-time home buyer around 750. There's a lot of them out there. So if you have a listing that's 750, good luck. I'm sure it'll go with it. Any other questions? No? Okay. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Thanks, Danny. All right, we're going to welcome Danny back up to the stage for the front. And he's going to do part 2.
Right, guys. So I'm going to be talking about AI now, and I'm going to put it into practice and do it right in front of you in real time. And together today, we're going to create a community guide that you can blend in. So we're going to make a community guide for Washington. And before I do that, let me open up ChatGPT. So I use ChatGPT to do my research for me. Way back in the day, I wrote a business plan and I mailed it to the Canadian government, and I put a sticky note on the cover and I said, I'm a youth in Ontario looking to start a business. If this lands on the wrong desk, please pass it forward. I'm looking for funding and mentorship. And I didn't even know who or what to send it to, so I just looked up the address of the government and mailed them this package with a sticky note. 3 years later, ring, ring, I get a phone call and they're like, hey, is Danielle there? And I'm like, Daniel? And they're like, oh yeah, sorry, Daniel. Is Daniel there? I'm like, I'm Daniel. And they're like, oh, we got your business proposal and we have a youth program starting and we wanted to interview you and bring you in. So I go in and nobody else applied for the thing, so I won by default. And the government just is like, if they don't spend the money this year, they don't get it next year. So they're just blind checks writing it out. So as a teenager, I got a $15,000 grant that I didn't have to pay back. It was just free money, and training through the government to start my own business. So if I was like a kid today's world, I wouldn't use a sticky note in a book. I would go to ChatGPT and say, research. So if you just start off by saying the word research with the little comma, colon thing, then I'll say, starting business in Ontario, looking for grants and funding options. And I'm going to stop that to cut the clutter and say all I need is a list of the money and how much I can get with a link to the way to apply. So now it's going to find all the grants that are available in Ontario to start a business. So the one I went to, I don't even know what they called it, Youth Start Canada or something like that. And literally nobody showed up for it. I honestly won because nobody else came to get this free money. And so I'm living currently, last year I was living in Surrey, British Columbia. We were living in a campground. It was $650 a month. And we had our own private backyard. It was just beautiful. I didn't want to leave. And then they're saying that they're going to close the place. So then I used ChatGPT to help me do a whole bunch of research on other ways that that campground could make money because I didn't want to leave. And so it actually found that in Surrey, they have a beautification that if your business is making Surrey look like crap, they'll fix up your siding or they'll fix up your sides. So before this campground sold, I'm like, before you guys sell, why don't you like look at all these options and have Surrey fix up your building and fix up your siding and fix up your signs because you're going to have more value when you actually do sell. And so here, okay, so it's found Canadian digital program up to 2400. Wow, this is taking forever though. Who said AI was fast?
Mine's done, you want the answer?
Yeah. So, all right, here we go. Doing it. Well, it's doing a good research job for me. Anyways, there's free money on the table. So I did I had to search all the different grants and applications for Surrey. You could do that for each city here in Durham region. Just find out what are all the different like grants and programs, or maybe you have a commercial product coming up around the corner, that sort of thing. So, okay, here we go. Found it. Okay, so starter company, that's $5,000. This Invest North up to 200,000. This one is 75,000. Like, who knew? If I went to Google, I wouldn't be able to find all this. right? So I use AI. I don't use Google anymore. I use AI as my research tool. So here, it just found me a whole bunch of money that's just like, honestly, you could have a business just applying for, if you apply for enough grants, you're going to end up getting them, right? Because nobody else goes out of their way to do this sort of thing. So anyways, I just want to show you that little hack of adding the word research. Really helps out. So we are going to research a couple things. I'm going to give you guys, this is a template. This is a Canva template that I've already designed for you. You can put your logo up at the top, obviously your photo, your name, a QR code. I'm going to show you how I made this image. I used AI to make this image here. It looks pretty cool. And I actually used AI to help me researching. Originally, I asked it, I'm going to make a community handout. I'm a real estate agent, and I want to give a guide to my buyers who are thinking of moving to Oshawa. What types of content do you think they would care about? And we discovered that history and fun facts of the city is a good one to start with, a brief introduction about the city. What about the future growth and development? So I could ask the AI, what are the future growth and development plans for Oshawa? And then do the same thing for Whitby and the same thing for Brooklyn and Bowmanville or whatever. I would make a whole section just for schools, make another section just about the communities, like the Glens in Oshawa. What's that? Is it called the Glens, or is there an MLS number like B24? Like I would get all that research done. Transportation and commuting, what's available? Do we have subways in this town? No, but we got the GO station. We got a small airport. We got all these options that just because you don't use them doesn't mean that the consumers who are moving here wouldn't. So I used AI to come up with like what are the chapters of the book that we're about to create. And then I made these pages. Each page is a dummy template. So you can just literally change this headline here. So right here, this is history and fun facts. Okay, so since we're here, I'm going to go to ChatGPT. So I use two tools. One is ChatGPT, the other one is DeepSeek. DeepSeek is the Chinese version of ChatGPT. And so I don't load any of my clients' data. So I don't upload an Excel sheet to ChatGPT. I don't upload an Excel sheet to DeepSeek because then they're just getting all your contacts information, name, phone number, and email. But if I'm just having to do research, I don't care. It's just one-way street. It's giving stuff to me. So I'm going to ask both DeepSeek and ChatGPT the same question. So I'm going to say fun facts about Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. All right, so I'm going to ask DeepSeek to do that. And then while I'm getting DeepSeek to do it, I want to ask ChatGPT to do the exact same thing. Yeah.
After this, am I going to go to upload? Put it in there and say, okay, I'm the exact same. But give you all the information. Sort of, yes and no. AI literally buggers up like 20 or 30% of the time. So I always get the AI to do things in piecemeal. I never get it to just do the whole job for me because then it's like you spend 3 hours fixing it to make it right. So I'll do one chapter at a time and it'll give me the context here on this browser and then I'll put it in Canva after I've vetted the information to be real and accurate and truthful. We're not at a point now where AI can just do things for you, because if you were, we'd be out of a job. So we're kind of fortunate that AI still needs us to be the captain of the ship, and you have these different commanders running these little pockets of it. So, okay, fun facts about Oshawa, Ontario, Canada's Motor City, Parkwood Estate, the festival, so it's home of the Oshawa General. So it's giving me all these fun little facts. I'm going to say, okay, 20 more. Because most of them are going to be garbage. But if I keep saying 20 more, 20 more, 20 more, eventually I'm going to have 10 to 20 really cool facts that I didn't even know, right? So it's now searching 20 more fun facts. And if I go to DeepSeek, it did start with the automotive capital of Canada, birthplace of a hockey legend, Bobby Orr. Cool. My grandpa took his photos. Awesome. Blah, 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 blah. So I would cherry pick all the good stuff here, and then I would then copy and paste that and put it into my fun facts about Oshawa. So I've already done this to save you guys time.
And we're going to create an Oshawa one, but once you have the Oshawa one, then you can make a Whitby one for all of Durham if you want to have a homogenized one. So here's about Oshawa. I'm not going to read it to you. It's going to be boring. But, I thought that was a typo. So apparently that's where the word Oshawa comes from. Again, AI could be wrong, right? So it's really important for you to fact check this because you're going to look like a complete ass. You're just like, oh, good job, you. Like, I don't even know what that word is. Yeah. Pronounced Oshawa. Yeah.
Can you ask for?
Yeah, you can ask the AI everything. Yep, we can do that. And so what I would do is take the answers that it gave me from DeepSeek and take the answers that it gave me from ChatGPT. And what I normally do is just put it in a Word document and I'll write it in my own way. I don't want it doing the writing for me. I just want it doing like 80% of the research, and then I'll spit it out in the way I speak and the way I would talk, and the way I would want to present the whole thing. So we copy and paste, and we put that here under history and fun facts. The next one, more fun facts. And then people love pictures. Pictures tell a story. Pictures worth 1,000 words. And so if I need some pictures, so let's just say fun facts. Okay, so Oshawa Generals. Okay, so I'm going to take the Oshawa Generals because maybe one of the photos I wanted to talk about is the Oshawa Generals. So then if I go to ChatGPT and say, I need an image of the Oshawa Generals building, do it as a drone shot from above. It might give us what we want, but there's also a huge chance it's just going to be complete garbage. So what I like about the idea of you guys creating a community guide that you hand out is that it would actually force you to get into your car and go drive around the city and take real photos with your own camera so you have original, fresh content. Now, I am going to try to use AI to create some of these images for me, but if I can't use them, it's not like a deal breaker. Guess what? You live in the community. Just go do a selfie of you standing by it or a video of you talking about the Oshawa Generals. So this community guide that I'm going to give you, it has a page for all the different like photos because people like looking at photos. So I would have a photo of like all the fun facts, like the Parkwood Estates, where they film all the movies. And I would have like a screenshot of Happy Gilmore or whatever movie was filmed there. And I would just put it here. And it's just like a fun little fact sheet. It's like not boring to look at. It's like actually, if you got this, it'd be like kind of fun to flip through, right? So what about future developments? All right, so I'm going to go to DeepSeek and create a new chat. Oh, this is one of the other hacks. I'm always starting a new chat. I never really start a conversation with the AI and just do my whole project in that one chat window. I'll do one chunk, take it out, and start all fresh again. Because it worked, I don't know, it just, you get better results. I'm going to say research, future developments in Oshawa. There we go. This is for buyers and sellers, I think, owning land and property. What are the major things coming up? I'm going to copy that, send it to DeepSeek. I'm going to go to ChatGPT, open up a new window, and type the exact same question. Okay, so there's GO Transit expansion coming up, Highway 407, and then we don't have to pay going east anymore, so that's pretty cool. Downtown revitalization. And remember, AI is fake. 20% of the time. So a lot of this is just going to be made up gibberish. So you cannot just assume that it's right. Right? Lakefront development, Joshua Waterfront Park, and improvements. Okay, so say I like this green space one. I want to take that and say, tell me more. And I'm pasting what it had already given me. So now it's going to do deeper research on what's happening with the lakefront development. You know what I mean? So it's one chunk at a time. It's just one little domino at a time. I have a real, it's like I'm having a real conversation with a real assistant sitting at the table with me. All right, waterfront, park, harbor, expanded trails, areas. All right, and then if I go back to ChatGPT, major developments. All right, the GO Transit expansion between Bowmanville. All right. So I like that. I'm going to say this one, number 2. I want to say, what are the dates? Now it's researching in more detail the dates just for this GO Transit. This would be really good information for you to know, right? What's happening in your community and what's going to impact the value. Because these things that are coming up are either going to increase the value of something or decrease the value of something real quick. All right, so here's the key dates of it. Like what I really could do is each little chunk, I could make a blog post for, or a social media post. So don't just think everything we're doing is just for one use. Everything we do, we can double dip. Not only are we creating a user guide for moving here to Oshawa, but that guide could be broken up into a couple of blog posts, and those blog posts could be broken up into social media, and it's like the same effort. You're already doing the same thing. So I would do the research of the upcoming things happening in Oshawa. So here, I already did it for you guys. Below is an overview of some of Oshawa's notable upcoming and ongoing growth projects. One is the North Oshawa residential expansion. Another one is the downtown one, transportation. So we kind of like go into the little details here of it. And then the next page on your handout would be photos of each one of them. Oh, let's see what our photo will be. Oh, cool. I mean, that's fake. Obviously, you don't have the big logo on it. But that could be used for a blog post. You know what I mean? That could be used for social media. So when I asked it, when I was creating like the guide of the top things to do in Oshawa, and or top landmarks, and what this is one of them. Well, here's an easy image that I was able to spit up in like 20 seconds, without me having to drive down the street to go get the photo. That's cool. Yeah. All right. So coming back to my creating handout guide, I'm going to move on to the next one. So parks and recreation. I asked it, what are the major parks and recreation? So it's talked about like U Park, Memorial Park. You could even get this set up so that it had like a QR code that would take them to, so for example, how do I do it here? I would be rewording this, but I could have a link that if anybody's interested in the Whittington Park area, that a QR code would take them to my website showing all the listings for sale in that area. All right. And once that link is made, it's not like the link is ever going to change. So you can use this guide today, tomorrow, next week, next year, and it would last and work forever. So making a page and section just about the parks and recreation, that would be a fun topic just for you guys to do to make your videos. Go around town, make a little video of you at each of the parks and talking about the recreation. And then you could do a blog post talking about each section. So if I was to talk about the Glens area, I would go make a video of me down in the Glens, and I would have a blog page dedicated of what's in the Glens, the schools, the property, the average prices. Like I would just talk in detail about that. And you would do it for each chunk. You can make this a huge package if you want it to be. I made it short. I created this to be like a 20-page little book for you, but you can really, really pad this out. What about the MLS areas and neighborhoods? So I had ChatGPT research what are all the different neighborhoods. So Lakeview, Vanier, Central, Neil, McLaughlin, and then using what they showed you this morning with loading the Google LM, the notebook thing, you're probably going to have to do this for yourself. But what is the average price in the Vanier area? What's the average price in Central? What's the average price in O'Neill? And so I would put what the average prices are, because a person who's thinking of moving to Oshawa, all they know is like everything's $1 million now, but they don't know there's these different pockets. And so people don't know what they don't know until you show them. And so I would be breaking down for each city that I could serve. I would have a list of all of the sub-communities, and I would talk about the averages of like what the average price is. If you want to break down for your schools and your education, I created this little sheet here, and I would have the name of the school on one side, the type of school, is it kindergarten, is it high school, is it like college, is it university? So I would have the type of school, and then the closest MLS area. So if you want your kids to go to this school, what MLS area should they be looking at? This is good research. And once you make this, it's still going to be relevant in 5 years, right? Yeah, until the board changes again. Okay, so schools and education. So I asked ChatGPT to research how many different schools are there in Oshawa. I asked it to then summarize and put that together. So it's talking about how there's roughly 30 elementary schools, close to 10 secondary across the different boards. It talks about the Catholic board, it talks about the public board. It did all that research for me. And then I had to actually vet it to make sure. And to be honest, I didn't vet it. I don't know, was there 30 schools? That's just something you guys are going to want to check to make sure, because AI could be wrong and I don't want to pass it off like I checked. But this is a good example of if you were to do a page, you talked about the schools and education. What about the transportation? What are the major highways and major roads? What are the rail services? What about air travel and public and local transportation? So I would talk about all of that. And it's different in different pockets. Like, I don't know, Bowman Hill is a little bit different than Pickering, right? As far as what's available. And then I would have the page that has a photo of the GO train, a page that has a photo of the airport. I would have a page that has, because people like just looking at pages, especially if you were like flipping through this book with a person, you're not going to sit there and read word for word. So I would just go to the pages that have pictures, and I would just tell some stories and like, oh man, you really got to check out this park, and your kids are going to go to this school, that sort of thing. All right, yearly events. So I could go to ChatGPT. Please list all the free and public events that happen in Oshawa, Ontario. Put them in order of date and break it down by month. So now it's researching all the fun, free community events that are going to be happening in Oshawa for this year. So you guys looking for content for your newsletter? Yeah.
Is this, you're on the plus version, does it matter if you're on the regular version, it's the same?
Oh, here's a hack. Okay, so if you're not paying for the plus version of ChatGPT, watch this. There's this thing called Bing. Nobody's ever heard of it. It's Bing. You go to Bing, and there's this little ribbon here. If I hover over it, it says Copilot. I'm going to click on Copilot. And guess what Copilot is? ChatGPT that you don't have to pay for. Yeah.
Even on the Mac?
Even on a Mac. On any Mac, yes. And I found that the free version of Bing sometimes outproduces the paid version of ChatGPT, which is crazy because Bing is ChatGPT. So why is that the case? And it's because they're just getting us to train the AI. It's essentially what's happening. Yeah, so you don't have to pay for ChatGPT Plus if you want. You can just use the free Bing version. Huh? Copilot. If you just Google search Microsoft Copilot. Yep. Okay, so what was the last one I was researching? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I asked it to do, a calendar for the year and break it down by month. So in June. Cool, okay, so upcoming, we got Canada Day, a tank Saturday, a live tank demonstration of the Ontario Regiment. How cool is that? See, I didn't even know. Fun stuff happening. And so you can use this as I would put that, I would copy this whole page, and then I would go back to my community guide and I would just paste it right here on yearly events. But I would be putting those yearly events on your website as a blog post. As fresh, original content that nobody else has except for you guys in the room now. Yeah. Okay, so skipping through, I would have photos of each of the events if I could, because like a photo of the tank, a photo of the whatever, because that's going to stand there. People are going to stop on the pages with pictures more than they are going to read your black and white boring text. Instagram worthy. This is a fun one. So if I like, okay, so ChatGPT, I want to say I just moved to Oshawa, Ontario, and looking for Instagram worthy photo pages. Now I would take that same prompt, go into DeepSeek and ask it the exact same question, because they don't get the same results. And so sometimes I get like 20% of, oh, I didn't even see that on ChatGPT, but this one. Okay, welcome to Oshawa. You picked a great city, but plenty of Instagram worthy. Okay, so waterfront. If it says anything about downtown, I know it's lying. Downtown, you liar, you've never been. Okay. Actually, I went for a walk downtown yesterday. I did. I walked around the block because I didn't want to cross this one corner. I'm like, I've never been afraid of high school girls before until I walked downtown Oshawa. Right. So there we go. Here's a bunch of Instagram worthy photo locations. Like these would be good just for you to go and get shots for your own Instagram. You know what I mean? But this is the type of stuff that people are looking for when they move. So what I do is I put it all together in this one little package. So here I already broke down probably Parkwood Estate, Lakeview Park, the McLaughlin Gallery, the downtown murals, the street art, whatever, you can come up with your own. And I would add a photo here. See where it says history? This is because in Canva, you can actually just drag and drop the photos. So anywhere that you see these photos, it's because they're a template. Even this photo is a template. You can drag and drop. If you're like, oh, I don't like that, you put that one in there, whatever. I'm going to do that. Okay. There's an end page. So this rider up at the top of every page. So if I skip through all these pages, you'll see the one thing that doesn't change is this section up at the top. So I created it as a template for you. So you can just like make your changes. So here, I'll show you how to do that. Let's say photos. So I'm going to say professional woman. All right, so say this is you, and you're like drag and drop, double click, and you can reposition. Cool. We want to change this QR code to be your website. I'm going to go to apps on the left and search the word QR. All these ones you got to pay for, except for this black and white one that just says QR code. That's Canvas. They own that. So if I click on that, I can see this QR code has me going to this website, and you would change it to be whatever your website is, www.yourwebsite.com, hit update, and it will update. Your logo, obviously you're going to have to delete this and then upload your logo, but it's drag and drop, super simple. So once you've created that, you're happy with it, you just copy this whole thing, copy, and if I go back to like this page, for example, and then hit paste, So I delete the top and then I paste your new one right there. So I would just paste your banner across the board and now you got your own version of this to rock with. I also created an end page. This one. All right, so at the back of your buyer guide, seller guide, checklist, whatever it is, you need some sort of call to action. So I have one that just talks about ready to sell. People want to sell fast for top dollar and hassle free. And we're here to guide you every step of the way. We'll start by providing a detailed home value report, go over the pricing strategies and marketing we do to get homes like yours sold. Book a free home seller consultation today. And obviously your phone number and everything's up here. So who are they going to contact? You. If I had a landing page that was specific to that, then I would just literally enter www.housevalue.ca or whatever your home value page is. I would put specifically right there. Ready to buy. We'll guide you through every step of your home purchase, making the process smooth and hassle-free. Start with the right information, get set up with MLS listing alerts to stay on top of the market, explore the best financing options, and get expert answers to all your home buying questions, book a free home buyer consultation, and then more resources. So I'm assuming you have resources that you hand out to your buyers and sellers, like a closing cost breakdown, for example, first-time buyer programs. Like I would do ChatGPT to help me research what are all the first-time home buyer programs for people in Canada, and I would create that as a resource. What about a list of all of your vendors, my mortgage broker, my home stager? I would make one page that just has a list of all of my vendors. That in itself is a resource that would be worthy for you to share out and mail to your database. Home value reports, buyer guide, seller guide. So this is just like a nice little universal end page for the handouts that you're sending out to everybody. So using ChatGPT and DeepSeek, they don't actually create the presentations for me. I just do use them to do a little bit of research. And then I use this template that I'm going to give this to you guys. And you just copy and paste it and truly make it your own. Now, since we're talking about ChatGPT, I'm going to show you some fun examples of something. Let me do a Google search. Okay, I need an image of a house. Okay, we're going to take this photo here. Is it blurry? Blurry, there, we'll blur. All right, so I'm going to save this on my computer. All right, now I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to upload. So I'm going to switch it to create an image. Why is that unavailable? And I load that image for you to finish. Okay. And the quality is in your chat. But it's all. Oh. Well, that defeats the purpose. Okay, fine. Let me find some examples I did in the past and chat GPT is growing today. It's the same thing. Okay, so here I uploaded just a regular image. If I open this up, it's just a regular room, right? So I uploaded that image and then I said, make this wall paint to be baby blue. And let it recreate the wall paint. So imagine if you have a brand new listing coming up And you can take some prep shots and then have it turn it into KWEn's bread. And now you got like a social media post coming soon, blah, blah, blah. So you can take images and it'll almost like Photoshop, and you can tell it things that you want it to do. So this example was I wanted to change the wall coloring. And then after we changed the wall coloring, I asked it to add a TV onto that wall. We put a TV onto the wall. And then after we did that, I asked it for a dog and a cat. So it gave me an awesome little dog and a cat here. And now that we have this photo, I can just add this to Canva and then drag and drop my logo on the TV screen and say like new listing coming soon, stay tuned. So that's one fun example of how you can use AI with the images now that you can do. Another one I did was snow.
For the changes to the photo, is that also tapping into your tokens and got a plus version of it? We're giving away your credits.
Yeah, for sure. Well, fun fact, it's not even working today, so it doesn't matter, no credits needed. Okay, so here, okay, some more images. So here's an image, say I was like selling a house, and we just sold this house. I can upload the photo, and then I ask the AI to turn it into a painting. So then we can print this, and now I have like a oil painting of the home, like our first time home buyer, we could like get an oil painting picture of their home. Scrolling on down, I asked what that would look like with different lighting. And then I asked it to rebrand the house. So here we took the listing and we rebranded it for our tax agent. We rebranded it as neutral. We asked it to do a blueprint of that house. Then I took a listing, and this was a vacant listing, just an empty room, photo of an empty room. And then I asked AI to virtually stage it. And so I'm not using other products that I have to pay for, because I'm already using the AI. The AI can virtually stage your properties now. So here I asked it to stage that, but what I noticed was the buildings in the background, they weren't actually the real buildings. Like if I open up the other photo, these buildings look a little bit different than these buildings. So then I asked it to just blur out the windows. And it just blurs them out. Now I don't even have to worry about what's inside.
So this only works on Plus, or this will work on?
I'm sure the free one will give you a taste, but you wouldn't be able to make a bunch of changes. You'd get like one or two results before you could use it.
They usually actually make big YouTube
But you can try the big version, so free, and see if it works. So here's the listing, and then we turned it into KWEn's red to see the listing up top, the gray one, and then it just repainted the whole house. So this would be like a good blog cover photo if you had like coming soon with your branding on it, as an example. And then I think I even show like, okay, so if I search, oh, no. Sorry. Okay, so here's a listing right here. We just took the regular photo, and then I said, create this image in the same subject and all details, but what it would look like at night during the winter. Look, it can give us what it would look like at night during the winter. So if you're taking a listing during a shit season, you can actually like upload the photo and show what would it look like in the spring, what would it look like in summer, what would it look like in the fall. And I actually even told it specifically to put the stars in the sky at night. I think we even played with the idea of getting a heart-shaped like footprint. I didn't like the way it did the lighting, so I started a new chat and it redid, and it gave us the house with the stars and the snow in the driveway with a heart-shaped footprint being stomped into it. So you can do really, really cool things with AI. The images now, because it's actually like you can actually like talk with it and be like, change the color here, change that. But it's still not perfect. There's a lot of back and forth that goes with it. But the AI that you can do with ChatGPT is crazy. So each one of the pages that we started, oh, okay, let me do another one. So here's an image that we made. Okay, so I said, can you make a realistic drone shot of Oshawa, Ontario? And this is what it gave me. Okay, so as for a drone shot of Oshawa, does that look like Oshawa to you guys? No. Hell no. So then I said false, 100% not Oshawa. And so then it gave me this, and I'm like, okay, bang my head against the wall, we're not getting anywhere. So then I said, instead of making it look like a city, because it wasn't doing that, I said, make it more like the Grand Theft Auto game and add the text welcome to Oshawa. And it gave me this image. And I'm like, I can actually use that. That actually looks pretty damn good. So when we go to the Canva template that I gave you, here it is here, and it looks perfectly acceptable. So what I did was I used ChatGPT and I said, please research. I always say please because I don't want it like killing me in 20 years. So I'm like, please research the top 10 landmarks in Oshawa, Ontario. And it gave me the museum, it gave me the tribute center, it gave me the all these different things. And so I had it designed this in the art style. I like Grand Theft Auto fine, first of all. But what I like about the video game art is that it's colorful, it's eye-catching, and it's just like a good prompt. So it's not going to add bloody murder to any of your images, but it does give that vibrant vibe that, because Grand Theft Auto spends a lot of money on like why are they using certain colors and certain fonts and certain styles of art? They spend all the money on proving why they're doing something. So with ChatGPT, we can just copy that style, assuming they know what they're doing. And so here I could do the same thing for Whitby, Oshawa, Pickering. Maybe you guys work Bowmanville, Brooklyn, or even Barrie, it doesn't matter. You can use ChatGPT to help you with researching what are the 10 landmarks in your city, and then have it create an image for you that you can use. So a lot of times it will try and make it look real. Like if I go back to I don't know where it is. Anyways, having it do like a cartoon style wins most of the time. Because usually it's trying to do it in this real style and it's so fake, you can tell. So because it's already going to be fake, fake all the way, just make it like a kid's animation. And so that style, when you actually see it put into the page there, like that looks like a really good little handout. You know what I mean? You've got a colorful one for Whitby, a colorful one for all the different cities. Any questions or? Yeah.
Not really a question, but it's just more of a comment. I think it's really cool that we can take this guide that you're giving us today. We can go to ChatGPT and tell us a list of all the different guides that we should create as a real estate agent.
Yep.
And then week by week, like every week we do one guide, or we do two guides per month. And by the end of the day, we turn them into landing pages. So we're just like copying and pasting everything, and you look like an expert. Thank you.
You could even co-collaborate with like 3 other people in the office and say, I'm going to make this one, you make that one, you make that one, and then you all share. And then take the good ideas he did, you know what I mean, and still make it your own. And that'd be a way for you to 10x it and get like 5 pieces of content with your 1 hour or whatever time. Yeah. And this one already is done for you. The Oshawa one primarily, I've already got ready to go for you. You just got to rebrand it and also vet all the facts because this was just straight up AI and check any of it. So when it's talking about the number of schools, you're going to want to actually just make sure that the numbers are right.
So would you download the print that? Idea?
Yeah, so the question is, would you download and print this? So in Canva, when you're ready to go, you can hit share and I would download it as a PDF standard and I would download that. But you could also, if I go back, go website. And now it's making a website out of that PDF. So you can just link to this Canva free branded website if you want it. So that's one example. The other one is you can take, so I'm going to download this PDF, guys. So I'm going to go download. I'm going to save it as a PDF. I'll do a standard and download. Okay, so it's downloading the PDF for me. Then what I do is issue. Oh yeah, issuu.com. You can upload your PDFs and embed them on your website. I use a different one. It's called Booklets. Because remember that app I told you about earlier, AppSumo, and you just pay once. So I went to AppSumo, I paid once $49, and now I can make as many of these flipbooks as I want. So I'm going to go to dashboard. I'm going to do view book, create a new book. I'm going to upload what we just created today. So I'm going to call it Oshawa sample. Right, I'm burning through that. And hit create. So what it's doing is it's taking my PDF and it's loading it into this magazine. So here it's loading now. And I can embed this on my blog. So instead of emailing a PDF that people have to download and they don't even want to download anything, I can link them right to my website. And look at this, a little magazine that they can flip through. And I would link to my blog that has this embedded right on it. So if I go back to my list here and scroll down to my Oshawa sample, it gives you this copy and embed code here. So I'll copy the code. Let's just do it in real time, actually. So I'm going to go to my website. Okay, so websites, this is my tool for,
Well, in Canva, you have your website loaded as a link, so it automatically goes there.
if you're, so in Canva is going to make its own branded domain. It'll be canva.com/ whatever the name of your project is called, and that's going to be the domain. But you can pay to have it like where it's like your own domain. That's the free option. I wouldn't do that option. I would do this option where I make a website or a blog. So let's just do this page. And I'll do my speaking page. So let's edit this. Okay, so say I want to add my little book that we just created. I'll just put it right here. Okay, so I'm going to find my embed code. Use it. Save it. Publish. There you go. Okay, so now what's going to happen is my page is going to load. And now I got my PDF baked right into my website here once it loads. It's still uploaded in the back end. And now people can flip through my magazine right on my website. So I know I firehose you guys, you're going to be like, oh, cool idea. And then after this, you're like, go home, get a copy, and not implement any of it. I did pre-record this of going through step by step, so you can just kind of watch and follow along. And this little tactic right here is a little advanced bonus tip. I wasn't even going to share with you. But anyways, it was brought up about how do you download the PDF. And if I was to do a PDF, I never just like email people a PDF. I'll always try and get that added to my website because now it's fresh, original content. Now I just link to that. And now that it's on my website, I can use that as a resource for like, oh, in our buyer follow-up plan, we should link people to this community guide we just created. You know what I mean? So let me go back to my website and delete that book before people think I'm
So do you leave that as a public page for everybody to see?
Yeah.
Okay. You would keep that as a separate link for people?
No, because even if, yeah. So I have some agents who are like, I don't want other agents to find it. I'm like, you're not even going to find it. once you use it and put it in there once, if I ask you in 2 months, where's your book? I'm like, oh, I don't know. You think the other agents went out, and even if they did find it, they're not gonna be able to replicate it 100% the way you do anyways. And so, yeah, I would always put everything I can on our blog and website public and never hide anything. It's just the more content, because like when I first joined in real estate in 2007, we were using like Real Web Solutions or something like that as a website. Everybody had the same website. The only difference was the agent's name, photo, and phone number. Everything else was the same. So when I got our first real estate website, I purposely went through every single page, and if there was a photo on that page, I deleted the photo and uploaded a new photo. Because my photo was original, whereas all the other agents have the exact same photo, and it's the same name, it's the same file size. Google knows it's duplicate content. And so I go through and change if there's pre-written text. So find out what your home is worth. If that was the pre-written on the house value page, I would reword it and say, thinking of selling in Durham region, find out what your home is worth. I would just pad it out a little more. So it's more local, more relevant. And then people, like at least Google, I'm doing it for Google. So that Google knows my stuff's different, so that I at least have a chance of being found. Because if you're just all using the same template, same company, why would yours come up? There's so many other agents that are ahead of you. Yeah. So I use ChatGPT mostly for doing my research. I love that we can like take our listings and like, right. So let me find, I did a fun one. Okay, so say you have, I took this listing that we made into Snowy 95, right? So I took that listing and I thought, what if there's different seasons? Like, what if you're coming up and you're about to list a home and it's around Valentine's, or if you're about to list a home and it's around Halloween or whatever. So we took the listing and I asked ChatGPT, what would that house look like on Halloween? Do a shot in the fall during the golden hours, kids are dressed approaching the house, showing the backs of them approaching, write happy Halloween in the sky with the roof of the house covering it a bit in bold font. So if I open that up and zoom in, look, it put the font behind it. I specifically asked for that. I asked it to do this listing during the golden hour, and then I wanted a bunch of kids approaching the house. That would be a cool little social media post. If you've got a listing and there's a season around the corner, you can easily take the photos that your photographer is giving you and then repurpose them based on a different season. So then I said, make it a happy Halloween, make it the happy Halloween exploding with candy and the kids jumping. So now the kids are jumping, trying to capture all the candy. And then I took it one step too far and I asked for fire in the background. Right? But you can take that listing and have so much fun with it. And maybe you've got a client appreciation party coming up. You can just ask the AI to take whatever image you give it and then spin whatever your topic is. You're doing a pumpkin patch giveaway, you're doing home show tickets, you're doing anything. Yeah. So we can upload photos. The one where I was doing the one where we were taking it and doing the virtual staging, like that's really practical. That's pretty cool that you can do stuff like that. So AI doesn't do my work for me. That's a big piece of what I want you to get out of today. And even when it does do the work for me, I get it to do piecemeal. Just one chunk at a time, I get it to do little baby steps, and then I'm the captain of the ship that puts all the pieces together. And if you're looking for a wireframe of like, where do you start? Start with this fire guide. Come up with this one chapter for the schools, another chapter with things to do, another chapter of the events that are coming up. And just like maybe make one chapter a week or one chapter a month. And by the end of it, you'll have it done and you can use it over and over and over again. Yeah. So that is how I use ChatGPT and DeepSeek to do my research for me. And then we create these buyer guides, seller guides. I think I have others. Let me check for them. I know I do. So I use ChatGPT to make me these. Okay. All right. Let's do. Fire mistakes. Actually, I'm going to bonus round. You guys are going to get all of these guides as well. I was just going to be giving you the Oshawa community guide, but here's one: common fire mistakes. Watch what you say during viewings. Assume you're always being recorded. Sellers may have security cameras or smart devices, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is like practical tips that we know, but we don't share and tell our other people. So I've created like a whoops page of all the whoopses that you might make as a buyer. I made one for sellers, and I used ChatGPT to help me with creating what are these possible mistakes that people make that they don't realize. So we have a common buyer mistakes page. We have a common seller mistakes page. Overpricing the home. Skipping the repairs and home preparation, not staging or presenting the home property, ignoring the market conditions. It's so hard to work with sellers right now. It's like a very emotional time and people are struggling and it's kind of tough. So anyways, with that, they don't really want to listen to us when we tell them the reality of what's happening in the market. And so anyways, when you have guides and handouts as supporting material, it makes your story a lot easier to tell and to frame, because if you're just verbally talking, they don't process everything the same as if you actually have material right in front of them. So I'm going to be giving you guys the buyer ones. What about a moving checklist? So when a person buys or sells a home, they're probably want to change their government ID. They want to change their finance. So this is a checklist that you can give people. Like, do you guys have checklists? Some of you do, some of you don't. If you do have a checklist, then take what I gave here, and maybe I added one thing that people miss on their checklist is updating their Amazon. You know how many people have moved, made a purchase on Amazon, and then whoops, it went to the old address because they never updated the shipping address? Yep, happens. And so this is a checklist that you'll get. And seller questions. Essential questions to consider before selling. So this is like, say I'm at an open house and people are walking through and they're like, oh yeah, we're thinking of selling. Oh man, guess what? I got this essential questions you got to ask yourself. So I'm going to leave you with this, and you and your spouse can take it home and like just read this and ask yourself these questions. And it comes up with questions that they should be asking when they're thinking of selling. But people don't know what they don't know, and it opens up a bigger conversation. And it gives you permission to follow up. Because if I give somebody this questions to ask yourself when thinking of selling, 3 days later after the open house, I can call them up and say, hey, could you go through that questionnaire of like questions to ask? Most of the time it's no, but it doesn't matter. It gave you that permission-based marketing of like a reason why you're following up. Because one of the hardest things for us is like, why are you calling the people? You don't even want to do it. They don't know, right? So if you don't have a good reason, you don't end up picking up the phone. So by giving people handouts, it gives me that permission-based reason to reconnect with them and bring real value. So I already emailed Chris my earlier presentation recorded and the one I just did pre-recorded. And as a bonus, I'll get you all of these checklists and questionnaires. And they're already done in Canva. It's free. Yeah, so there you go. So guys, AI isn't taking our job yet. It's the agents that are using AI that would be, if anything makes sense to me, I think I could see this, where Zillow can get to a point where they're using AI right up to the contract, and then they have a human rubber stamping the end process. That is what I predict is going to happen with AI in the future and real estate taking over, because I can see those bigger companies totally replacing the agent at some point, because they already kind of are with certain things. So I don't see why it wouldn't happen. But in the time being, use AI to leverage what you're doing. What are the things that you need to create and make? And don't have it do the job for you, except for that tool you had this morning, the Gamma. That was cool. So there's certain times where AI is going to do the job for you from beginning to end. But most of the time, you're going to be just doing the research with the AI and putting it together. Yeah?
state. This whole presentation was the manipulation of property. I think it is phenomenal because you're not necessarily allowed to have a specific property that's manipulated over time. So it allows you to reuse potentially previously listed project. Some of it not fine, and it just becomes Joe and
Yeah, so he, for those online, he was really liking what we did with the AI photos and how you can manipulate, like say you had a just listed, just sold, but you don't have permission from the other agent to go do a direct mail of the just sold. I wouldn't take the photo of that listing, but I could use the AI to help me create an image that represents that neighborhood. And now I have something that they relate to that I can use in my own marketing without even needing to ask permission. Good one. Yep. Any other? And what about online? Let me go to your Google. I don't know how to read your chat, if there is a chat.
There is no current questions.
Oh, okay, well, MYCP, my contact page. So in the Zoom chat, I put my calendar for any of you if you want to book a one-on-one call. And for everybody in this room, scan that or text this number, and I'll do a one-on-one call with each of you because we can get overwhelmed with information and what do I start and what do I do next. I'll do a half-hour call with each of you. It's not a sales pitch. The reason I do that is because say I did 10 calls, at least 3 of you are going to end up doing business with me anyways. So I don't mind if you're one of the 7. Yeah. So book a call and we'll hang out next week. Yeah.
That royal painting was amazing because Alicia and I were just talking about doing a gift for our client and we just sold the house.
Yeah.
And I used Bing for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
And I created an oil painting of this house.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Okay, so for the online people, she really liked oil painting, that you can take a photo of property and make it an oil painting. And what is there's an app that I want you to look at because the image that the AI is going to give you is going to be screen worthy, or maybe not print worthy. And there is a tool that I use.
That's what
Topaz. So Topaz, Topaz Photo AI, they can take shitty quality photos and it uses AI to redraw every pixel scale so that you can print it like this wall and it would be crisp. T-O-P-A-Z. Topaz. Just Google it. And they have one that's like gigascale or something like that for upscaling images. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this one. Topaz. Well, let me just Google it. Topaz image. Topaz is a product, and it's a one-off. You pay once for it, and then all of your photos. I was actually playing with it on the airplane, and I took a really bad photo of a guy on a horse, and it fixed it. Like it totally made it from an unusable photo to a usable photo. So here, see this slider of how crappy, and then look at the difference. Crappy, look at the hair. So it actually. It looks at the photo of what it thinks that you had in the crap version and then makes it amazing. You don't necessarily need that for the photos that your photographer is giving you, but have you ever used a photo online and it looks jaggy? You can throw it in here and it's going to correct it so it's like printable. Yeah. So if you are going to print your client's photos from AI, then you might want to buy this one then. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I will leave this screen up here and just connect with me and we'll go from there. Oh. Oh, good tip. So Canva has an image. Can we, where is it? I'll show them. Okay, so here's my image here. Under edit.
There's a few, at the bottom, I believe.
Image upstairs.
Image upstairs.
Oh, cool. Okay, try that before you pay for a tool test. Because I didn't know. Good tip.
There was another one that's free that I do use, it's called AI.Neuro, N-E-R-O.com.
AI.NEURO.
N-E-R-O. .com. This one I use. It's free.
Image upscaler, and it's free. Cool, there you go, use that one. Okay. Nice. Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming in all the way from DC to help, keep us safe, and we've learned a lot, so here's a card of half of us here. So thank you very much again. Just want to send a quick thanks to the people that helped organize this today. Nat, Ashley, Dawn, Amanda, if you guys can stand up and please be recognized. So we hope we took a lot of value out of the topics here discussed today. We'll probably be sending a survey out for feedback. And our next major tentpole event will be our fall kickoff. Stick around, have some food. I'm sure our presenters will stick around, ask some questions, and thank you all so much for coming.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.